is a special presentation of ESPN College Football on ABC.
If your team is ranked #1, be very worried. 2 weeks ago in Columbia, South Carolina, Alabama brought its lofty perch to town. Quarterback Steven Garcia torched the Crimson Tide, and South Carolina won it 35-21. Ohio State rose to #1, but not for long. The Buckeyes invaded Wisconsin, and the Badgers' David Gilreath took the opening kickoff 97 yards. The Badgers then bullied the Buckeyes, winning at 31-18. And the BCS rankings now show Oklahoma at the top. Coach Bob Stoops brings that star-studded group to Columbia, Missouri. And the question tonight, can Oklahoma bury the #1 jinx? We welcome you to Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines. You are looking live at a sold-out Memorial Stadium in Columbia, where a new #1 has entered the fray. Tonight, #1 Oklahoma enters homecoming territory on Missouri Tiger turf. Two undefeated teams going head-to-head in a matchup of Big 12 division leaders. And just a short time ago, the rain began falling here in Columbia, but that has not dampened the enthusiasm of this homecoming crowd. They've been dominated through the years by Oklahoma. They're determined tonight to do something about it. Welcome, everybody, with Kirk Street. I'm Brent Musburger. Thanks for dropping by. OU, what a star-studded offense, Herbie.
Well, Brent, we've been talking about this team all year, but really now they're center stage, being ranked #1 in the BCS standings, and they have the firepower. And really, it starts with their quarterback. This is a chance for, I think, Landry Jones to take ownership of this football team and show the OU fans it is his team and his offense, and he's got a supporting cast. DeMarco Murray, in my mind, the most versatile tailback in the country, and I think Ryan Broyles has established himself as the premier wide receiver and Blitnikoff favorite to be the top receiver in the country, so they've got to get them both on track to be able to win this game on the road.
Now, Missouri has pretty talented quarterback, too, junior Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah, Blaine Gabbert's healthy. Last year, you and I called his game against Texas. He had an ankle that he was battling through. Now that he's healthy, he's got the goods to be able to make every throw on the field. But to me tonight, it's about, can his offensive line give him time to throw? Can his receivers beat the talented Oklahoma secondary and linebackers in man coverage? If they give him help, Gabbert can make the throws.
The question, will we be looking for a new #1 after this game? We'll find out. Stay tuned for John Saunders from our Times Square studios for the Nissan pregame shift. Coming up next, the Oklahoma Sooners, favored by a field goal, pour onto the field here in Columbia, Missouri, wearing their traveling white. Early in the week, Bob Stoops was downplaying being #1 in the BCS, but last night he said, you know, last year they didn't talk about us being #1 in anything. We're kind of enjoying returning to that lofty perch. Awaiting the arrival of the home team. Here come the Missouri Tigers. This has been the Nissan pregame shift. Kickoff for Oklahoma and Missouri.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, brought to you by Ally Bank. To learn more, visit allybank.com today.
Weather is going to be a factor here tonight, but forget about the rain. It's going to be the wind, and in this stadium it swirls. You would think when you watch the top of the stadium that it is blowing to the left, but you go down below and it'll come in the other direction. Now, Herbie told you that DeMarco Murray is one of the most versatile players in college football, but he has been slowed by injuries. And then Aaron Andrews, he was nicked again in pregame warm-ups. What's the story?
That's right, Brent. During pregame, we saw Murray actually slice his hand open. He left the field several stitches. He came back on the field for warm-ups, and he had his ring finger and his pinky taped together. But as Oklahoma just ran out of the tunnel, he took the tape off. I talked to DeMarco on the field. I talked to Bob Stoops on the field. They both said he's fine and he's ready to go. Of course, that hand is the one he carries the ball in, Brent. But if you're watching College Game Day, you saw that DeMarco Murray likes to train MMA style. So the Ultimate Fighter is fine and ready to go.
Indeed, he appears ready to go down there.
What's interesting, Brent, is this is his 4th game against Missouri. His freshman year, he had 4 carries for 2 yards. Later, his freshman year, he didn't play. He was injured in the Big 12 championship game. He didn't play in 08, so really, this is his first chance to go against Missouri.
And Missouri will go on offense first against Bob Stoops and the Sooners. Gary Pinkel on the other side has a true freshman, Marcus Murphy, back deep to return this kickoff. But he's a Texas youngster out of DeSoto, Texas. So settle back, everybody. Patrick O'Hara will have the ball on the tee. And the 2 unbeatens in the Big 12 Conference will go at it here in Missouri. Low kickoff fielded by a short man on the 14-yard line. And that's McGaffey breaking free, has a seam and a crease. The kicker can't trip him up. Headed for the end zone. Will it be back-to-back weeks? Yes! A week ago, it was the Wisconsin Badgers. Tonight, it is the Missouri Tigers. 86 yards for a touchdown. John McGaffey, a sophomore from Galena Park, Texas, returns it for a touchdown. The extra point is tacked on. Grant Russell makes it a 7-0 shocker here.
Brent, you called it. Just like last week, we got settled into Madison, and they had the big touchdown return by Gilreath. And now, what great blocking. Amazing blocking to set up the seam. And all of a sudden, Missouri gets exactly what they need to get this fan base and themselves to believe that this time it can be different against the mighty Sooners. McGaffey, though, a lot of instincts. Sure, there are some great blocks, but his speed and instincts to find that seam, and the rest, of course, is just the speed in the air. But wow, did the Tigers need that to start this game. Something, I mean, we just show up and opening kickoff. Wow.
What a way to start your homecoming game. And DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray has gone in, and he is back deep. He's gained more than 1,000 yards as a return man. It'll take a bounce, and here comes into the end zone now. And in the college game, once it crosses that plane, it's a touchback. In the NFL, you've got to go back and settle on it. That's a live ball in the NFL. So here comes Landry Jones, the 6'4" sophomore from Artesia, New Mexico.
Brent, you can see that he's coming off a great week last week, and talk to the coaches. It seems that he's starting to come into his own, making good decisions, has the size at 6'4". I think stepping in for Sam Bradford last year allowed him to get the reps. You know, he threw for over 3,000 yards and now becoming more of a veteran in his 2nd year as a starter, only a sophomore.
The pistol formation, the quarterback 4 yards behind the center, and directly behind him, DeMarco Murray. They throw out of it to Broyles, and he is out of bounds after a gain of about 4 yards, run out on that far sideline. Broyles had a wonderful game a week ago against Iowa State. 15 catches, 13 of them coming in the first half for 165 yards. And that no huddle, up-tempo, 2nd and 6. Play action fake to Murray, and Jones fires incomplete, and Broyles was well covered that time. Jacquez Smith.
The speed of Missouri has been the strength of this defense all year long. They've been putting pressure on quarterbacks. They have 20 sacks. Let's see if they can get pressure here on 3rd down.
Quick snap. Landry Jones is going to get taken down. Behind the line is Kevin Rutland, the senior from Houston, Texas. So a whole lot of Texans are making impacts here for Missouri early.
How about Dave Steckel, the defensive coordinator, mixing up a little bit of zone pressure, bringing the corner, really the nickel back, who's lined up close to the edge of the line of scrimmage, and he just goes right around the left tackle, Donald Stevenson. Stevenson waiting for the defensive end. The defensive end drops into coverage, and the speed of Rutland goes right around him.
That's Carl Geddes, number 19, back deep for the Tigers. Not a good punt. Fair catch. A safe fumble. Loose ball. Oklahoma recovers it. The evening's first turnover, and Geddes couldn't hang on to the fair catch.
Brent, you and Aaron Andrews both talking about the wind early in this football game. Watch Geddes. The ball takes a little bit of an odd turn in the air. I think the wind affected that football quite a bit. Geddes could not field it. And you're talking about a veteran, a guy that's been a 4-year starter and been around a lot. Couldn't handle that punt. Oklahoma takes advantage of it.
So we'll see what the Sooners can do. They're in Tiger territory. When you come back, they'll start from the 45. How many times have we seen the long field uncovered? And it was James Winchester who recovered that fumble, giving Landry Jones and the Sooners a 1st and 10 after going 3 and out. They flash a screen to Broyles, and Broyles this time picks up 9 yards on 1st down, and that puts him in great striking position.
Yeah, absolutely. And everything that Kevin Wilson as a play caller does is he tries to get Ryan Broyles involved early. Simple passes to get him the ball in space.
They come back to him again on the other side on that flanker screen, and he's at the 30-yard line now before Getchkar makes the stop for Mizzou.
He came into this game with 61 receptions. Even when you know he's going to get it, they do a great job of moving him around, and with the tempo that Oklahoma likes to use offensively, sometimes it's tough to locate him.
Broyles, the junior out of Norman. He's now to the left side of the formation as they move him back and forth. Now DeMarco Murray pounds right straight ahead. Stop was made by Will Ebner, the junior linebacker. He too is from Texas, number 32 from Missouri.
This tempo that Oklahoma made so famous with Sam Bradford and company a couple years ago, starting to see Landry Jones and this offensive line build the continuity to get more and more comfortable with the pace of it.
Cameron Kinney is number 6. He'll be down to the left. Play action Jones. Wide open on that far side. Diving for the end zone. Touchdown, Kenny Stills, the freshman from Southern California. 27 yards after the turnover.
That's exactly what this hurry-up offense can do to a defense. They prepare all week. They think they have it ready. Here's the effort from the freshman diving for the pylon. Definitely gets in and scores the touchdown. But, Brett, you get the defense where they either make a miscommunication or they're not prepared. They're back on their heels. That time, a miscommunication in the secondary, and the quarterback, Jones, is able to find a wide-open wide receiver.
Jimmy Stevens for the extra point. And we are tied at 7. If you just turned on your television set, we've had a kickoff return for a score, a turnover, and now Oklahoma scores for the first time.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Cadillac, the new standard of the world. And Northwestern Mutual. Begin building your foundation for life at northwesternmutual.com.
Shakespeare's Pizza, a tradition here in Columbia since 1973, and were they ever jammed on this homecoming weekend. Wouldn't be a Mizzou football game without a slice or a pie from Shakespeare. Well, we see what Oklahoma's coverage team could do this time. And that's one way. So on the touchback, it'll come to the 20, Herbie.
Brent, you go back to the touchdown. There's kind of a trips formation into the boundary. This is the tight end, Hannah. He's going to hold the safety, and I think that's where the confusion is. Nice route, well thought out. Execution's there. See how the safety kind of gets held on the tight end going vertical? That freed up the freshman Stills to get to the corner, and they're just picking on him. A little cat and mouse game. Corner comes up on the flat route, and there's Stills all by himself, but that safety had to respect the tight end getting vertical, going right towards the goalpost for a touchdown potentially.
Now here comes Missouri with Blaine Gabbert spreading the field. 3 receivers though to the left, and they will come to the running play, and Devin Moore breaks in to the second level before they can tackle him, and a very good running play on 1st and 10 for 21 yards.
71, Jason Baldwin comes around, picks up a great block on the All-American Travis Lewis. And Breno, the running game from Missouri, they don't do it a lot, but they need to do it enough tonight to make this Oklahoma defense respected.
Now 5 across. Gabbert firing incomplete. Let's go to New York and Robert Flores.
All right, Brent, here's what's happening on SportsCenter right now, presented by Sprint. Alabama has scored 10 unanswered points. And after trailing 7-0, they lead Tennessee 10-7. Greg McElroy 1-yard touchdown run. And the Phillies scored 2 in the bottom of the first. They lead the Giants 2-0 in Game 6 of the National League Championship Series. Brent, Kurt.
Of course, Rangers await the winner, Robert, for the World Series. And here for Mizzou, 2nd down. His first completion, and he goes to his wide-out Jackson, Jarrell Jackson, Jr. from Houston.
You're going to find most of Missouri's passes aren't thrown downfield very often. They love to try to spread you out from sideline to sideline, trying to find a matchup, a one-on-one matchup that Blaine Gabbert can expose. Most often it includes T.J. Moe, his slot receiver, the big tight end, Michael Egnew. This time he goes to the other side to find Jackson.
Blaine Gabbert with that field spread on 3rd and 3. This screen game is basically a run game if he spots somebody open. Looking to go downfield this time. Middle, got it, 1st down. Middle was wide open, and T.J. Moe, that favorite receiver of Gabbert, is open for 14 yards.
T.J. Moe was a high school quarterback, but a tremendous athlete. He's able to get away from coverage from the safety, Jonathan Nelson. Just a little one-on-one basketball. You got to work to find an open area and kind of an option route. You just backyard football, and Moe that time finds the opening. Good job by Gabbert of finding him.
Mizzou just across the Oklahoma 40-yard line. It's up to Gabbert to recognize the screen. If he wants to take the bubble, it's an automatic with him. But again, he's going downfield, incomplete, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. David Yost is the offensive coordinator upstairs. And what's interesting, Herbie, about this particular attack is he talked to us. It is up to Gabbert, as you see Yost up there, right there in the middle, bending down, looking at his play chart. Whenever he sees the bubble, when somebody is soft, he will go to it as an alternative running game. They'll use the jet around off of it and some other things, but that's how much they rely on Gabbert. They think he's a tremendous talent here. 2nd down and 10. Gabbert, a little bit of a botched play there in the backfield, and he keeps it himself and steps ahead. Devin Moore was the... Watch how this is botched up.
Yeah, he looks like there's not even much of a mesh there. And with his own read, you obviously got to get the ball in there with the running back. But, you know, you mentioned Gabbert, what he can do, and he can abort those fakes and just throw it out there. The bubble screen, such a big part of this offense. Also can run the football. I mean, surprising quickness for a guy 6'5", about 235 pounds.
Henry Josie, one of their freshman running backs, is right to Gabbert's left. It is a running back by committee here at Missouri. Looking at 3rd down and 7. Here is the freshman, and he is pounded immediately. I mean, he had nothing doing as Corey Nelson, another freshman from Dallas for Oklahoma, makes the stop.
Boy, Corey Nelson has tremendous quickness. He's up to the top, just over the left guard. Watch how quick he's able to analyze his play. And then the speed. They're talking about him as a true freshman, being a 4.4 type of speed. One of the fastest linebackers they've had in a long time. This freshman class is dynamic that Bob Stoops was able to bring in.
Here's Kenny Stills. He scored the touchdown, Irby, and he goes back deep now. Raidner's punt. Fair catch just inside the 10-yard line. So when you come back, it'll be Landry Jones and the Sooners. We're tied at 7 in Columbia. Well, the NASCAR chase heads to historic Martinsville, where they'll look to continue the pursuit of that Sprint Cup title. And Jimmy Johnson with a short lead over Denny Hamlin, 41 points. That's tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN HD. The drive for 5 with Jimmy Johnson. And now we'll see what Landry Jones and the Sooners come up with here. Again, DeMarco Murray right alongside the quarterback. Kevin Wilson has called the play here for the Sooners, and we're ready to go. Another completion, and he's going back, Herbie, to that youngster out there. He's finding Stills again.
Well, I think right now you're seeing Missouri give Ryan Broyles some special attention, and I think this is the growth of this Oklahoma offense is guys like Kenny Stills, Trey Frank, some of the freshmen developing.
Complete. Well, they give you no time at all as they bring the freshman, Trey Millard, out of the backfield. Now, Millard went to high school right here in Columbia, Missouri. But he was concerned that the Tigers were going to turn him into a linebacker. So he was recruited because he wanted to play fullback, and the Sooners said bring him on, and what a promising young man he is. And DeMarco is stoned at the line of scrimmage that time. Buried by Jimmy Burge.
You know, this offense, I think, Brent, and they're going with the up-tempo. Kenny Stills getting his chances, but Missouri crowding the line and forcing Ryan Broyles and this receiving crew along with Landry Jones to make plays through the air.
They keep DeMarco on the ground, and they are all over him. And now they will have to go up on top, Herbie, for sure.
It's not as if Oklahoma's had a lot of series yet in this game, but right now they don't have a yard rushing. The only time they've had success moving the ball is with Landry Jones throwing the ball and finding one-on-one matchup.
Coach Steckel with the signal out to his defense. And when Oklahoma spreads the field, of course, the defenders have to recognize who they've got and get on their man. Jones needs 10 yards for a first. Hit on the release, incomplete, forced to punt. Under pressure that time by the Mizzou front, and Aldon Smith, coming back from an ankle injury, made his presence felt.
Absolutely, it's so important. They've done a good job of getting pressure. They move Aldon Smith to the inside, Brent, and look at the quickness for the big guy at 6'5", 255 pounds. He's able to get right around Hayburn that time, and it's not always about getting the sack. It's about pressuring the quarterback to make him get rid of the ball a little bit faster than he wanted.
So for the second punt for Tress Way, and remember, Geddes couldn't handle the fair catch the last time. Drives this one. Geddes lets it go on into the end zone. Looked like it picked up a little bit of a tailwind that time for sure as it got up high. That's a 57-yard punt, and it'll come out on the 20-yard line.
Yeah, might have been 80 if he would have been backed up very far.
First down and 10 from their own 20.
Oklahoma trying to play, and this program's used to dealing with pressure. Bob Stoops has built a powerhouse. Last year was a bit of an aberration. They had a lot of injuries, obviously, to Sam Bradford, Jermaine Gresham. Offensive line had 10 different offensive line combinations, but this year, been on the back burner till this week. How are they going to handle this #1 position in the BCS standings?
Now Lawrence is the third running back used here tonight. Movement down in that offensive front, which, by the way, is a veteran offensive line. 4 starters.
False start. Number 66 of the offense.
Now that is
penalty,
Austin Webbles, and he has scored the highest of any offensive lineman on this team this year. But that'll cost him a few points on the grade next week. The center, Tim Barnes, and he is a story. Here at Missouri, there is no cadence. And when you watch this center go up, he will bend his head. He makes the decision when to go. See him eyeing the defense? Now he will make the choice. Gabbert does not call any signals back there. Off we go. And there's that quick strike to the right side this time. And Wes Kemp as we check in with Robert Flores in New York.
All right, Brent, Taco Bell studio update. Air Force has pulled even with number 5 TCU. Tim Jefferson caps off a 10-play, 89-yard drive. They are tied at 7. That was the first touchdown TCU has allowed since dating back to the 4th quarter on September 24th.
All right, Robert, and here's 2nd and 4. Lawrence on a great cutback for a first down. Kendall Lawrence is a sophomore from, you guessed it, Texas, Rockwell, Texas. So Missouri has made a living recruiting down in the great state of Texas. Chase Daniel, just one of many outstanding players to come here in Columbia. Now Gabbard is back with the field spread. 1st down and 10. Great protection all day. Middle, wide open, Lawrence, 9 yards. But what a job by the offensive front.
Well, that was one of the big keys. It wasn't so much about Gabbard and his decision-making. It really is about his supporting cast. This is a veteran offensive line. They do a great job of holding up. And if you're going to give any quarterback enough time to be able to attack a defense like that with a good group of wide receivers, they're going to find somebody. I'll tell you, Wes Kemp is a key to this offense. Had a big week last week in that win against Texas A&M on the road.
2nd down and 1. Lawrence stops short. Cannot pick up the 1st down. Quentin Carter, a heavy hitter, comes up from the secondary. And did he jam the point of attack that time?
And Carter has played a lot of football. Very physical. You know, this week they're talking about the importance of trusting your eyes. Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator, along with Bob Stoops, Bobby Jack Wright, saying our safeties have got to be able to do exactly what Quentin Carter did right there.
Here's your 3rd and 1. Running formation for Gabbard. Burrows in behind Barnes. Line judge coming across, and he's got the 1st down spot.
Yeah, there's a long way to go in this football game. But Brent, you and I have called a lot of Oklahoma and Missouri matchups going back to 07. The difference in those games was about the battle in the trenches. Long way to go, but so far, let's give Missouri and Gary Pinkel a lot of credit. They're holding up much better on both sides of the ball up front.
Here's Gabbard. Lawrence picks up the rush man. That opens it up on the far side. Now, that's a story. Tony Jefferson was coming in on defense for the Sooners. He is one of the most talented freshmen that Coach Venables has had in a long time. But watch Lawrence pick him up.
The one thing about Lawrence and all these backs, and the reason Lawrence gets in there off to the left of Gabbard, is because of that toughness. But Gabbard right here gets out in the open field. He's trying to run away from Jefferson, the true freshman. Picked up some big yards. Instead of throwing it away, giving up on the play, uses his feet and gets him to 2nd and 5.
Now Josie, one of the freshmen. And they flare it to him. Behind a wide receiver block. And there is a penalty flag down. We've had a pretty penalty-free game here so far, Herbie, but
little hold
flying.
Yeah, it looked like a hold by Giroux right in front of him.
Holding. Number 16 of the offense. 10 yards from spot of the foul. 2nd down.
Giroux just trying to help out. And of course, in all these offenses, at the top of the screen, holding Jefferson by the jersey. Official right there makes the right call. Josie gives them, as a true freshman, the home run threat in that backfield.
Here is what Venables said about Jefferson. As a freshman, he's ahead of Roy Williams. Folks, that's an elite company. When somebody says that to any of you regarding Oklahoma, everybody remembers how good a player Roy Williams was and went on to a career with the Dallas Cowboys. He said number 1's not leaving a field for us. He's out of Chula Vista, California. He's a 5'11", 198-pound freshman, and they're amazed at what he can do. They'll put him on slot receivers. 2nd down and 15. Gabbard steps up. Incomplete. I think the crowd thought there was interference.
I think the fans wanted interference. Ball was pretty high and really didn't have a chance of making a play on it. You know, this Oklahoma secondary has been prone to giving up some big plays. It's something that they've struggled with. They've allowed a Big 12 worst 32 plays of 20 yards or more, and I think sometimes they're so aggressive that they get themselves out of position, and I think some of the double moves that Missouri has in their arsenal is something that they'll try to go after that youth that you're talking about with Jefferson and company.
Maybe let's see what they come up here on. Needing 15 now. Beal is picked up, fires incomplete. He had a target in the middle. Beal was trying to get there, number 44, an All-American defensive end. Agnew was the target.
Yeah, and Agnew on one side and Moe on the other has been successful, and Beal's one of the top defensive ends as far as getting pressure on a quarterback. Has enough time. That's 2 throws in a row that Gabbard, maybe a little bit excited, puts a little bit extra on the ball, and the ball sails.
It was Jason Palmgren battling him that time. Matt Gravener, the senior from Alton, Illinois, finally earned a chance to punt for the Tigers this year, and he's done very well. It's that rugby style. And it'll roll down close to the 20-yard line. Take a look at this week's BCS standings, brought to you by Tostitos. Certainly Oklahoma up there in the #1 spot. Are you surprised?
I think you have to be surprised when you see them ranked 3rd in one of the human polls and 4th in the other, but the computers loved them and put them up at #1. Oregon up at #2 had a big win on Thursday night. I think right now, pound for pound, I would say the best team in the country. And they're Boise State. Auburn today with a big win over LSU, which stands out as well.
So Landry Jones is back in, and now Roy Finch. Speaking of freshmen, here is number 22 for the Sooners. Jones fires in underneath, and that's Brandon Caleb, the veteran from Richmond, Virginia, number 8, making his first grab of the night.
You know, with DeJuan Miller being out, they're going to need Caleb and Cameron Kenny and the rest of these receivers to help out. Not just Kenny Stills and Ryan Broyles. They need more receivers to give this quarterback, Landry Jones, more options to be able to make plays.
Marco Murray is now a wide receiver, but they come back with Finch, and here's Finch. He's got the sideline. He has a burst. There is your Sooner running back of the future right there.
This kid's a freak of nature. He's out of Niceville, Florida. You can see he gets to the edge, and when you give Finch at 5'8", 190 the edge because of his speed and quickness, he's going to get upfield, and this guy, he's explosive. Every time he touches the ball, he's got a chance to make a play. 17
yards for Finch. Jones now, and that's DeMarco Murray, his first catch coming out of the backfield. DeMarco Murray is the first Oklahoma player to have more than 1,000 yards rushing, receiving, and returning.
And there's the versatility you talked about. They're lining up out at wide receiver this entire drive with Finch in the backfield.
And here comes Finch, just finding a crease with that fresh running back. And they told us, Irving, when we talked to him, they said, you're going to see number 22. He gained 92 yards last week against Iowa State. And now how good does that victory look? 52-0. And the Cyclones go down to Austin and upset Texas. Landry Jones with that quick screen to DeMarco Murray, just short of the first down.
You know, to be able to put DeMarco Murray out at the slot, I think tells you a lot about his ability to make plays. You know, think about how many running backs could line up. Remember Reggie Bush used to do that a lot at USC, but he may have the softest hands on the entire Oklahoma offense.
Trying to go quickly. Jones right straight ahead for the first down.
Landry Jones, the ball carrier. 2-yard gain. First down and 10.
Niceville, Florida is in the Panhandle.
Yeah,
it's very close to the state of Alabama.
Yeah,
so
down by Destin.
Exactly.
Seaside.
Fort Worth Beach and all those nice places down there. We've got an injured Tiger player being tended to down on the field right now.
In fact, Dominique Hamilton is down there.
He's one of the defensive tackles.
Well, he's right in the middle of the pit there. Gets double teamed and just pushed back.
Did leg get bent?
Yeah, it looked like his
bent over as they were coming backwards.
It looked like his right leg.
It looked like his right leg got bent over backwards. Junior out of El Paso. Let's hope he's going to be all right as he comes to the Tiger sideline. It's interesting. We've talked about DeMarco Murray And Aaron Andrews reported during the last commercial that Ryan Broyles was having his left ankle retaped. Well, Broyles has not been on the field, we are told. And there he is on the sideline right now. They have used DeMarco Murray out wide. And there you see the tape over the top of the shoe. And, you know, what a thing it is to have number 7 that you can run in as a wide receiver. He's out to the left now, and they come back with Finch. What a burst. Ran away from the first defender.
He's got the burst, and he also has that low center of gravity. He's a powerful man for being just a true freshman. And one thing Oklahoma always wants to do with their backs is be able to get them to the perimeter. You can see he lowers that shoulder. He's dialing up Kevin Rutland, the senior, not backing down at all.
2nd and 2, and Landry Jones over the middle. DeMarco Murray was stumbling as he reached the 10-yard line. And he is down right there. And the Sooners, who once trailed in this game, right after the opening kickoff, 14 seconds into this game, they were behind. They've tied it after a turnover. And now they're threatening to go ahead. Intercepted. A horrendous screen. Holden Smith has got it. And he's got speed. Somebody's got Jones, but from behind, he is run down by Kenny Stills.
Landry Jones has intercepted by number 85, Alden.
Brent, all year, Missouri's defense in the red zone has been one of the best in the country. Alden Smith showing, of course, being one of their best pass rushers, as if he's going to bring the pressure, and he drops back. It's a great call and great instincts by Smith. Looks like a basketball player there, getting a rebound in the low post, but does a good job of being able to make the catch. And how about the speed by the big fella in the open field? That is the 3rd red zone interception by Missouri this year.
They're glad to have number 85 back on the field. He's been sidelined by an injury. And on 1st down, they flash to the outside. Josie, a freshman, has 9 yards.
Now you can see what the Missouri coaches talk about when they talk about Henry Josie. True freshman in there. Chance for them to show a true freshman what he can do. And he continues to get better and more of a complete back. He's played a lot of football this year. That time catching the ball out of the backfield. And this is where you set up Gabbert in this offense in really good position, 2nd and short.
Devin Moore checks back in. And he's alongside the quarterback, and now they bring Josie through and hand it on that jet end around, and he picks up a 1st down. So, you know, Herbie, I don't think we have mentioned freshmen as many times as we have done any game we've done this year.
Not at all. Not at all. They are all over the field, and this goes to show you how important it is to try to locate some guys that can fit into your system who've got the speed to be able to not just provide depth, but look at Josie. I mean, in this offense, you've got to be able to play receiver too, kind of doing what DeMarco Murray is doing, lining up at this time at the top of your screen, trying to see if maybe he can beat some one-on-one coverage.
Gabbert with the field spread. 4 wide to the left on this 1st down. Standing tall, fires end zone, incomplete. Jackson, the intended target.
When this offense is going to stretch you from sideline to sideline, you've got to be able to hold up in one-on-one coverage. And Fleming, who's coming off an ankle, has missed a few games. Probably their best cover corner. He's got to be able to hold up on one side. Hurst has to be able to hold up on the other. One thing Gabbert does with the amount of time that he has to throw the football is he's going to find a matchup that he likes, and that time he's almost able to hit Jackson for the touchdown.
Gabbert's got a fastball, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The top of the screen there. Kind of a funky formation here by Missouri.
He was a very fine baseball player, has given that up, and the Sunday boys will take a look at him. Beautiful to Agnew. Hit him just where he wanted it on the move. That is a perfectly thrown pass.
Well, there's the touch. He's got the fastball the play before, and here's the touch. A little fake to that formation, and then just tries to get it back to Agnew, who's become one of his top receivers this year. 6'5", 235, very tall and athletic. You know, he long jumped 25 in high school. Gives you an idea of how athletic he is.
Indeed. As the first quarter comes to an end. Good one in Columbia. And this presentation of Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines, returns after this message and a word from our ABC station.
to get you in shape. Monday.
With Kirk Herbstreit and Aaron Andrews, I'm Brent Musburger. We welcome you back. Homecoming weekend, Columbia, Missouri. This is the school that claims that it founded homecoming. And they've got a big one here. Oklahoma in town, tied at 7. Turnover now, and the Tigers are threatening as we start the second quarter. 3rd down and 2. Handing off, trying to get the corner. They do for a first down, and that's Josie again. First down and goal.
Wait, Josie has a different gear, Brent, and they're going to spread you out all over the field with 5 receivers. Josie comes into motion, diving here to try to get to the end zone and see if he scored. I don't know if they're going to take another look at that one or not. I don't know if he stepped out of bounds. But boy, his speed coming around. That was 3rd down and 2. Oklahoma didn't have a chance to slow him down from getting to the corner. They may want to look at that again.
And they're doing just that.
If anything, the right knee may have touched.
Yeah. It looks like it's out of bounds, Herbie, before the ball reaches the pylon, which had already been suffering down there from the defensive player.
But as a defense, you get so caught up in, okay, here's Gabbard. He's got 5 receivers. It's 3rd and short. Is he going to try to throw the ball to Mo in the slot? Is he going to try to find the tight end? Josie comes around in motion, and they hand it off. And Oklahoma's not ready to defend and hold the edge on the outside of that defense.
Big 12 officiating crew. That's our referee, Greg Burks. Replay official David Dumas is upstairs. Of course, in the college game, every play is reviewed upstairs, and then they can stop. And that is something the replay official has to do when you've got an up-tempo offense.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The ball will be placed at the half-yard line.
Can't get over we talk so much about freshmen, Brent, but just the offensive line of Missouri holding their own tonight. You know, through a quarter, done a good job of whether it's pass protection, the few times they've run the ball, holding their own against some very talented defensive linemen from Oklahoma and some linebackers.
So even though it is 1st and goal, Gabbert will not line up under center. This is the Missouri attack. And they run it in for the touchdown with Devin Moore, the junior from St. Louis. So both teams have now converted turnovers into touchdowns.
Line up in an empty backfield, as you said, and then they use the motion as just picking up momentum to just hand it to Moore and just let him take his chances coming downhill.
Grant Russell tacks on the extra point. Now the home team leads it by 7 again. Back in Columbia, Missouri 14, Oklahoma 7. And Roy Finch, the freshman, has been sent back as a return man here for the Sooners. Deep in the end zone. He'll take a knee. It'll come out on the 20, Herbie.
Well, Missouri, obviously, it's a quick touchdown, but it's interesting to see the way their offensive linemen are handling things up front. They're going to bring both the left guard, Paulgren, and Fisher, the left tackle, around to just lead Moore through there. Moore picked up the momentum when he came in motion, but look at the blocking up front from Missouri. They're winning the battle. This is inside the 5-yard line. When this is like, who's tougher? Is Oklahoma's defensive line or Missouri's offensive line going to win that battle? And the Tigers right now, as we've been talking about, holding up on both sides of the football in the trenches. That's something we've not seen when they played Oklahoma in the past.
85 is back. Ryan Broyles has returned. Tape on the left ankle. They'll come with DeMarco Murray on a running play on 1st down. And they gain 9 yards on 1st down.
Talk about Broyles coming back. You get Murray back into the backfield. And this is one of the first times we've seen Murray have some room to run with some good blocking up front.
Quickly they get to him for a 1st down. He's still on his feet.
With Broyles coming back, Brent, you wonder, it's one thing to have him back, but how effective can he be? I mean, he is such a big part of this offense. Clearly, Landry Jones is go-to guy. Early, the first few series before the injury, seems like they were throwing every pass to him.
Kenny Stills is off to the right. He'll be the flanker now. Comes through in motion. And they run to Marco around the left side, and he'll pick up a couple of yards before the defense jumps all over him. And that was good pressure by Jarrell Harrison, number 11, senior from Las Vegas. Probably remembers DeMarco Murray. Both are from the Las Vegas school system. Second down and 8. Juggle complete. Broyles has got it. Great concentration, still on his feet and inside the 30-yard line. But watch the concentration by 85.
He's clearly not 100%. Corner blitz. They've got soft coverage with the safety this time, Simmons. There's the concentration. But Brent, in the open field, Broyles looks like he's about 70%. What focus here to make that catch? But downfield after the catch, not much of a threat.
And quickly they come with rolling to the right side, incomplete, and now it will be second down. They don't give you a chance to breathe. That's how fast they sequence plays when they go up tempo. Look how quickly they get back toward the line.
They practice this so hard. It's about conditioning. It's about trying to wear down a defense, get the defense to sit back on its heels, look for any edge, make them hesitate, and then capitalize on that.
Second down and 10. Under pressure, strips into Trey Franks. Slipped it in there beautifully, and that's another of the youngsters on this Sooner team.
The true freshman we've talked a lot about tonight in this first half, and Franks, true freshman, undersized, but shows his toughness that time, making that catch across the middle and taking a big hit.
Jones fires in zone, incomplete, and it'll be second down and 10. Herbie, you talked about how fast they up-tempo things, and to try and get ready, Missouri, as you know, used 2 scout teams, and they would run a play, and then the second scout team would quickly run to the line and pull the trigger on the second one, trying just to get the tempo that the defense was going to face here tonight. Second down and 10. Sets a screen, and there's no one with Madu on that side. Fumble! Missouri jumps on it, I believe. The crowd thinks that Missouri has the ball. Yes. There's the signal, and it is now official. Jasper Simmons was around that play.
Brent, look at the defensive tackle on the inside. Marvin Foster, a freshman. He's on a stunt. He sees the play. He actually gets there and causes Madu to come back into the inside where the rest of the defense is, and they're able to knock the ball free. Oklahoma's turned the ball over 5 times all year, now twice inside the red zone just tonight alone.
Brad Simmons and Madison were there. Jasper Simmons, and Madison was underneath him, and it is a 1st and 10 now for the Missouri attack. Gabbert with that field spread, and prior to the snap, there's Madu upset with himself for turning it over.
Oklahoma calls a timeout.
So the Sooners call a timeout. We'll take a break. Stoops is very unhappy with those 2 turnovers.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling brand of trucks for 33 years straight. Built Ford tough. And Dr. Pepper. There's nothing like a pepper.
Now this weekend, fraternities and sororities displaying their homecoming decorations. And this year's displays illustrate computer-animated films Herbie, you were always busy getting ready for a game. You couldn't enjoy homecoming. Being tripped up now is Lawrence. As we take a look here, Herbie, at our Pacific Life game summary.
Well, Missouri's been able to take advantage. They had a big kickoff return that kind of set the tone early in this game, got themselves to believe. And Oklahoma, Landry Jones, they came back after that fumbled punt by Missouri and tied it up. But boy, one thing that stand out is Missouri playing up front and kind of controlling things in the trenches, doing a good job.
Need 12 here. Gabbert fires the slant and got 11. Nicely thrown ball to Jarrell Jackson.
Got to hold up one-on-one, and you can't give away the inside slant. Good move by Jackson to set up Fleming. Gets to the inside, and the timing by Gabbert. Look how calm he is. Because of the way they've been able to protect him, he's not feeling any heat at all. Allows him to get into rhythm. And this offense, like a lot of offenses, predicated about timing and rhythm. And that time, you saw Gabbert and Jackson hook it up.
Gabbert brings Lawrence back next to him. Plus coverage by the Sooners at the bottom of your screen. Gabbert running all the way. Had a crease, and that's just what Herbie told you. He can hurt you with his feet.
Amen, Brent. And this time they bring the right guard and the right tackle. Webbles coming around here, the right guard and the right tackle. They're just going to bring the quarterback around. He's not reading anything. They know exactly what they want to do. Good job of reading that or making the read on the blocks. But, boy, that shows you how much confidence they have. You pull the right guard and the right tackle, and you take the quarterback right behind him.
There's that jet end around, and then they come back with more on the inside, and they're getting huge gains out of first down. Back second and short again.
But watch the linebacker play follow the jet sweep, especially this right here. They're going to just read it. They feel it. Okay, I got it covered. And all of a sudden on the backside, there's great angles for the linemen to be able to pick up blocks. Elvis Fisher got up to the second level and picked up a big block on Austin Box.
All quarterbacks love this, don't they? Second down and 1. Spread the field. Time, middle, picks it up easily, comes right back to Jackson in the middle of the field.
Again, they're going to spread you from the left sideline to the right sideline. Because of that, look at the room to work in the middle. Jackson starting to come alive this drive. One-on-one chance. He's able to beat Lewis, who's very talented. Gives him a little shake to the outside, back to the inside. And with that time that Gabbert has, he's able to find him easily.
He's thrown for 85 yards here tonight. He's 8 of 13 so far as he picks up another 18 with that pass play. Offensive line almost intercepted. That was not a well-thrown ball, and Jonathan Nelson had a crack at it.
It's good coverage, actually, by Fleming, the corner, who was up tight on Mo. It's the third time. Boy, Nelson's got to come up with that. Ball was thrown with some velocity, but he still, both maybe snuck up on him, but right into his hands. Third time in the last couple drives, we've seen Gabbert high on a couple of throws, and high over the middle, as we all know, dangerous with safeties lurking back there for interceptions.
Looking at 2nd and 10, that's Lawrence alongside. Hand to Lawrence. Lawrence makes the most of it. There's not a clean play developing early, and Quentin Carter, the striker, up to make another hit.
Missouri is all about spreading you out and throwing the football, but we've talked about it this morning. We talk about it now. Just having enough of a threat, whether it's Gabbert running, whether it's Moore running, whether it's Josie running. Tonight already 63 yards rushing. They've called 28 plays, 14 are runs, 14 are passes. It forces Oklahoma to respect that aspect.
Here is 3rd down. And the Sooners come up with Hurst making the stop on Kemp right near the marker.
That time Oklahoma brought a blitz, trying to get anything to get Gabbert off of his rhythm. And, you know, they were able to force him to come up short. But, again, the offensive line did their job. But a good call there by Brent Venables. Forces the quick throw to get it out. And they didn't come up well short of the first down.
Yeah, they ruled that one off. Waved that pass off. over there on that side. And now Stills goes back deep on 4th down. Hangs it beautiful. And Stills with a fair catch with the wind blowing, but he hangs on. And when you come back, it'll be Landry Jones in Oklahoma trailing by 7. Well, now it's time to cue the Aflac Duck. The Aflac trivia question, Herbie. Who are the 4 Oklahoma running backs to rush for more than 4,000 yards? Big names all. Going to give you a hint. All first-round draft choices. Okay, just think about that for a little bit. We'll get back to you on that one. I can hear some Sooner fans out there scribbling down names right now. Here's freshman Roy Finch. He'd love to join that list someday. Play action, Landry Jones throws it in underneath, and there is the freshman fullback. And he just doesn't play like a freshman. Millard.
Well, in this offense, the fullback is heavily involved in catching the football. Over the years, they've had some great ones, and to be able to look at Millard as a true freshman, to think about what he offers Landry Jones, it's just another nice compliment to what this offense in the arsenal. Now you have 2 freshmen in the backfield with Landry Jones.
Jones, a sophomore, pitches it over to Finch. Finch with a good-looking pair of hands, and there's a penalty. I believe there's a penalty. Gatchkar was over there defensively.
Official threw that about 20 yards. I'm guessing that might be a hold, but it came from way behind the Missouri defense.
Holding, number 4 of the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. First down.
Looked like Kenny Stills got caught up there with Kenja Jackson. Stills pretty involved tonight, making some big plays, catching the football a couple times, but this time he locks up with Jackson.
So the officials getting together. Huddling on it, Gary Pinkel on the Missouri sideline. First down and 20 after the penalty. Kevin Wilson, and looks like there's a little bit of confusion here with what they want to do. Looking for the play call, and the formation adjusts. They set in the pistol. There's the handoff. Finch into the middle. And just shy of the 20-yard line. The original line of scrimmage is the 23-yard line.
In the last 2 possessions, Oklahoma's been able to move the football, and just they've turned it over both times in the red zone. They had a 9-play drive that ended up being a turnover, and an 8-play drive with a turnover.
2nd and 14. Finch is cut off. Not going any place this time. Terrific defense by Ebner, the middle linebacker, the junior.
Ebner very involved. They say one of the most instinctive players on this defense. And got right around the block, or the attempted block by Ben Hayburn. Made a good read on that play and got away from his blocker and made that short game.
3rd and 16 down the middle. Got Broyles to the 49-yard line on a huge 3rd down play that moves the chains for the Sooners, and it will be 1st and 10 for OU after the 31-yard gain, Herbie.
Man-to-man coverage pulled away from Kevin Rutland.
Gonna go again, gonna go deep, and good coverage on the freshman that time. Couldn't do much against Kip Edwards. He was on Stills.
That previous play, boy, it was interesting to see Broyles, who's been battling through that ankle, matched up on a big 3rd down. Landry Jones had time to make the throw, and boy, Broyles pulled away from Rutland to show he still has the juice.
On 2nd and 10, here is Broyles again. Out of bounds around the 45-yard line. 3rd down coming up for the Sooners.
Sixth catch tonight for Ryan Broyles. And I think Landry Jones, one thing that he has to be careful of, and it's worked out for him most of the year, is getting the ball out to Broyles. But one-on-one coverage, Broyles, whether he's out on the inside in the slot or out to the outside, he's finding matchups that he's winning. He can't lock into him.
Snaps it off for the first down and then some. Cameron Kinney, the senior from Georgia. With DeJuan Miller lost, Herbie, he now steps into that role, and the coaches are very confident in his ability.
Yeah, he makes a big catch here on third down, and a good read there by Landry Jones.
Come back with DeMarco Murray on first down. Keep the pressure on the defense. Don't give them a chance to catch their breath.
If they get a first down, you better believe that next play is coming out at about 5 or 6 seconds. They get lined up quick.
Because they were close to the Missouri sideline on that left hash, the defense could substitute. There was room to get it done. Second down and 9. Landry Jones incomplete, and now it will be third down, and there's a penalty flag, so hang on. That was Kenny Harrison. So they were locked up.
Kip Edwards, the corner, came in there as well and got involved in holding on to the receiver, the intended receiver, Kenny.
Number 1 in the defense. Spot foul. It is first down.
And of course is Edwards.
Yeah, Kip Edwards gets locked up and definitely comes over the back of Kenny. And you know, he had either receiver open that time, Kenny on the outside, and also had Ryan Broyles to the inside. But Brent, this is a long drive. This is about the 9th play of this drive. The Missouri defense against the tempo, hands on their hips, trying to come up with another turnover in the red zone.
DeMarco flares. Picks up a block, and he is thrown out of bounds. That time it was Harrison. Got him out of bounds. Missouri's red zone defense has been outstanding so far this year.
They've given up some yards throughout the year, but the big difference is they're not allowing people to score touchdowns. Dave Steckel doing a great job this year with this defense.
We go out to Stills. And Stills. Harrison coming up from the safety position and making the tackle. And here's your third down again, short of the 10-yard line. Oklahoma down 7. DeMarco Murray, and I don't think he got it. Decision time for Stoops and OU.
DeMarco Murray, the ball carrier for Oklahoma.
He's down 7 now. Does he settle for a field goal with Jimmy Stevens here, or a field goal attempt?
You know Bob Stoops, he's going to go for it.
Doesn't even hesitate. Didn't even look down the sideline. Here we go. Millard remembers the lead fullback. They can hand directly to him, which they do, and he bangs toward that marker. Depends on the spot now in the measurement. It is very close.
Number 33, Trey Millard, ball carrier.
That's how much they like this freshman.
Gachtar on the tackle for
It is very close.
Line judge will bring the chains out upstairs, I think, judging from his reaction. They've told Stoops they think they've got it. He'll go down to take a closer look, and here comes the chain gang.
The yellow line, usually pretty accurate, but not always 100%, would indicate a first down. There it is.
Indeed.
Dead on.
Perfect.
If he gets to fourth down and short, this offense has had so much success this year in third and short. They're 4th in the country at converting in 3rd and 1 or 2. And this time they get it done on 4th down. And you're right, Malone, they treat almost as a junior or senior. They're very impressed with the poise of the true freshman.
On 1st and goal, the check back to Kevin. DeMarco Murray right alongside. He's got him on the flare. And he is out of bounds around the 5-yard line on that completion.
I think people underestimate not just the versatility of Murray, but how physical he can be. I think this offseason he finally had a chance to get stronger, and I think he's run different. He's definitely lowering his shoulder more and trying to run through tackles.
Going to try him again. Walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma. An extra point away from tying Missouri here in Columbia. So he adds to his OU touchdown record. Has passed the great Steve Owens with all-time Oklahoma touchdown. Did that last week against Iowa State when he scored 3 times. And here he is picking up one here tonight. Stevens. John Nimmo grabs it and puts it down. Nice job of holding that time. And we are deadlocked. Watch Bob Stoops' reaction.
Brett, this time Landry Jones on a touchdown. Got a freshman linebacker isolated one-on-one with DeMarco Murray. He just does not have the speed to be able to get out there and be able to make this play. Sitting back, you can see Murray's able to get to the corner, a little casual with that touchdown, but one-on-one, get to the outside. That is pitching and catch, and a little easily gets to the corner for that touchdown for the Sooners.
Ball on the tee. And fielded at the 21-yard line by Henry Josie. And Josie with a strong return. All right, Herbie, name the 4 Oklahoma legends.
All right, I got to say Billy Sims.
Perfect.
Steve Owens.
Perfect.
Now I'm guessing. Damon Murray.
No.
How about Marcus Dupree?
No, but that's a good get. One you should get. One you should get. One more of the 2 you should get. Here they are. Billy Sims, Joe Washington, Adrian Peterson. That's interesting.
That's a
and Steve Owens. You know, that's the one that I think everybody, and it's interesting, people I've asked,
yeah,
they think, did Adrian do that before he went pro? And here we go again now. Speaking of running backs, here's Henry Josie. He's impressive tonight, buddy. Go ahead.
Yeah, he is impressive. I'm going back. You think about Adrian Peterson, you think about a few injuries slowed him down,
Right.
didn't play a full career, went off to the league, and you just kind of think, did he get the 4,000 yards?
I think there's only 3 Buckeyes who've got it. We have to check that out. 4 is an enormous number of running backs who have reached that. It goes back and tells you historically how great the Oklahoma football
Marcus
program
Dupree
has been.
would have, but he had the injury.
Exactly. First down and 10. Here's Gabbert. And timeout has been called.
Yeah, Bob Stoops seeing something is going to call a quick timeout.
Oklahoma calls its second charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds in length.
And let us check in with John Saunders and Jesse Palmer. John.
Brent, thanks a lot. Coming up on the Capital One halftime report, you've got a game of unbeatens. There was also one this afternoon.
Battle of unbeatens in SEC play as LSU took on Auburn. Cam Newton may have had a Heisman-defining performance today.
Plus wall-to-wall scores and highlights. Coming up on the Capital One halftime report.
Well, John, thank you very much. And, of course, here tonight we've got the Davey O'Brien Award marquee matchup for Week 8. Blaine Gabbert and Landry Jones in a quarterback duel here tonight. And right now we are dead even at 14. Although Landry Jones has passed for 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he has had 1 interception. Gabbert has passed for 85 yards. He has no touchdowns and no interceptions. First down and 10, and hand off to the inside to that running back, and nothing doing for Josie that time.
Yeah, again, the mesh point here on this zone read by Gabbert. I think the last time it was with Moore where they just couldn't quite get things taken care of, and this time, you know, good penetration, and that's one way you're able to stop the zone read is just win the battle up front and be able to get to the quarterback. But second time we've seen Gabbert and his running back kind of pulling back and forth with the football. Second
down and 13. Gabbert steps away from the pressure, hums it down the middle. Got Jackson again at the 30-yard line. First down and 10 on a very well-thrown fastball.
And this play took some time to develop. Another good job up front. And look how Jackson, I think there's a little misunderstanding and some confusion by Missouri and the receivers. Jackson ends up separating from his own receiver, T.J. Moe, and the defender that was with Moe, but he does a good job, and Gabbert held on just long enough to make the throw.
16 more yards for Gabbert. From the 30, quick pitch to the outside, basically part of the running game right here. And Michael Agnew, who has been very quiet. They list him as a tight end, but he never lines up in a traditional tight end position. He will always be flexed off the line. He is a former wide receiver. Herbie's already talked about his athletic ability.
Think about the tight ends that they have had over the years come through this program. We were with Wisconsin last week. They've had some great tight ends. Nice to see these offenses utilize a mismatch sometimes when you have a big, tall receiver that develops into a tight end who can block as well.
And you go way back, and there were none better than Keller Winslow. Gabbert bobbles it, picks it up, and goes down. Doesn't try to do too much in that situation. Jeremy Beal quickly in on top of him for the Sooners.
One of the few mistakes that we've seen here from Missouri, the snap way to the left, and Gabbert tried to just put the left hand out there to bring it in. And all of a sudden, we get to talk about Jeremy Beal. You know, with Jeremy Beal on one side and Frank Alexander on the other, you'd think that they'd be in the backfield all night against Missouri. And even though the Missouri likes to get the ball out fast, still Oklahoma's got to do a better job of getting pressure on Blaine Gabbert. They got to disrupt his timing.
Rare mistake by Barnes. Snap was off to Gabbert's left. Oklahoma shows pressure, backs out on 3rd and 18. Gabbert calls timeout. Did he get it? Yes, he did. The referee gave it to him. Hoo-hoo. That ball was whistling past where he was. Let us whistle our way to Robert Flores in New York. Robert?
All right, Brent, time for an AT&T All-America Player of the Week update. Auburn's Cam Newton leading them to a win over LSU. 217 yards on the ground. That's a career high. He now has 1,077 yards this season. That's the most by an SEC quarterback in a single year. You can text VOTE to 345-345 to take part. Brent, Herbie.
All right, Robert, thank you very much. And, of course, every Sunday, you can catch the BCS Countdown Show for the exclusive unveiling of the new BCS rankings. Find out who's poised to be this year's BCS Buster, and that'll begin at 8:15 p.m. tomorrow night on ESPN. And some of the scores you may not have heard today. Certainly Oregon's performance on Thursday night could weigh heavily if Oklahoma continues to struggle here in Columbia. Boise State trying to run up its score. And Nebraska with a big win over previously unbeaten Oklahoma State today, 51-41. So 2 unbeatens have already fallen, LSU and Oklahoma State. And we'll find out at 8:15 tomorrow night. The top rankings got him on the break. Here's Jackson close to the 10-yard line. And I can hear the fans in Eugene cheering that completion.
Well, this is a mismatch right here. I mean, watch Jackson, little move, second time he's given Lewis that little move to the outside and then back to the inside. And he and Gabbert have hit that 2 or 3 times where they just little move to the outside, back to the inside. Gabbert's in rhythm, fires it to him, and Jackson's having a big night for Missouri.
Yeah, that's 25 yards now on a 3rd and 17. Coming down now to 40 seconds. Mizzou with a couple of timeouts. There's that pitch to the outside. Agnew. And Agnew across the 10-yard line here as we watch that clock coming down. Deadlocked here near the end of the first half.
I'm going to use one of their timeouts here, Brent.
And that'll save them 1 remaining, right? And that's their second timeout.
Missouri calls its second charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds in the lead.
Well, we've been talking about the BCS standings and that show tomorrow night at 8:15. As you know, here are the elements. The Harris, the coaches, and the BCS. And Oklahoma jumped because of the computers and the fact, starting with Florida State, they had arguably as tough a month as anybody had in terms of schedule.
And that's why they were rewarded with that #1 spot in the BCS standings. Auburn beating LSU, a team that was also up in the top 6 or 7. by knocking off LSU. The computers will like that. A lot of the people who vote and the coaches in Harris poll will like that. It's a team to keep an eye on. Michigan State, again, finding a way to win for Mark D'Antonio. They were challenged in Evanston today at Ryan Field, but somehow overcame that atmosphere this afternoon and were able to find a way to win the game. They remain unbeaten.
As does Missouri, here with a 2nd down and 7. Missouri hoping to pop up into the battle and all the discussion about Glendale and the championship. Here's Gabbert under pressure, penalty flag. This could be holding. The referee has it. Gabbert barges into the end zone, and just short of it, it's going to be marked. But there was a flag thrown by the referee, and there might be holding right back here. Let's see.
Holding.
Yep.
Number 71 in the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot.
That's Palmgren.
Well, he has time initially. Left guard going up and trying to be able to hold up against this big talented group of defensive linemen. But, you know, Brent, when you were back there and you're waiting for receivers to open up, it takes a little bit of time. They start to get penetration. You step up, and a lot of times those offensive linemen just hold on for dear life to try to keep the defense away from you.
Now, they have to be careful here. They don't want to miss a field goal opportunity. Got to get that timeout. Clock is coming down. 2 seconds, 1 second, they got it. Agnew is down, and they almost missed an opportunity here for a field goal. As Russell comes out, he's kicked 10 consecutive. Watch the clock tick away here, Herbie. It was very close.
The offensive penalty may have caught Gabbert off guard. You know, the clock continued once the penalty was called and the ball was set. They started that play clock, and the game clock went with it. And I think it may have surprised Missouri, and it may have surprised Blaine Gabbert. They were fortunate to get this 1 second. That's what Bob Stoops is arguing about. He thought that 1 second ticked off.
Grant Russell, a junior, he's kicked 36 of 38 field goal attempts. He's 10 of 11 this year. He's also kicked a 50-yarder. So you do not want to deny this young man an opportunity to give you the lead going in at halftime. That would have been a timing mistake on the part of Missouri. So here we go.
Grant Russell for a shot to hold.
Barring a penalty, we've got the final play of the first half. 36-yarder.
Bob Stoops uses his last timeout.
You know, it's interesting because I know a lot of fans, they don't like it during the NFL, nor do I. But I think their Stoops called it. I think there should be a time limit, Herbie. Like when a play clock is coming down to the NFL, you get to about 5 seconds. You can't call a timeout after that. I mean, I just think that there has to be a little bit of a change in that particular rule. You know, but here, I mean, Stoops, he just called timeout. He didn't wait.
You're not a fan of those coaches that stand right next to the official and say, not yet,
two rules I want changed.
Boom, now.
And I want the pros to change pass interference. Okay? I want them to go to the college. The college rule's better. These guys throw this ball up in the air for grabs, and you got a 50-yard penalty, and suddenly you got a team down there. No, this interference is better. Well, here we go. Get off my soapbox.
There you go.
Get on with it here. Here's Russell. Got it. Missouri takes the lead at the intermission.
Oklahoma gets the ball to start the second half.
Missouri 17, Oklahoma 14.
Good first half for Missouri.
It was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's check in with Aaron now.
Coach, getting pressure on Blaine Gabbert. It seems like he's been able to be in a rhythm for most of the first half. How do you do it in the second?
Yeah, we haven't been able to get to him. The guys up front in our four-man rush need to get with them, but in the end, we couldn't make bigger mistakes. We got 2 major turnovers in the red zone and a kickoff return for a touchdown, and we're only down 3.
How will you address those big turnovers in the red zone with your guys?
Got to take care of the football. It's not that hard.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Aaron. Thank you very much. Well, let's send it to the Times Square studio. Big John Saunders and smooth Jesse Palmer. The Capital One halftime report. Take it away, John.
Welcome back to Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines.
Headed for the end zone. Touchdown. Yes. for the third straight week, a #1 ranked team is under fire. Oklahoma trailing Missouri 17-14 as we take a look at tonight's Southwest Airlines playbook. And Herbie, it began early. Gone McGaffey, 86 yards with his kickoff return.
Just like last week at Wisconsin, this is how you want to start if you're at home and you're an underdog. McGaffey takes it all the way for the big touchdown, 86 yards. Oklahoma got back into this football game, took advantage of some opportunities that they had. We've been really unstoppable offensively, averaging almost 7 yards per play. If they didn't have the 2 turnovers inside the red zone and they didn't give up that big kickoff return, it'd be a different game.
Now, can Missouri hold up against this Oklahoma talent? Do they have enough to take it deep into the fourth quarter?
If you're Missouri, what you're telling your team is, listen, Oklahoma has not played a 4-quarter game all year. They've been outscored 51-24 in the fourth quarter. You're thinking, guys, let's take the fight to this Oklahoma team. Forget about the rankings. We're at home. We're outplaying them with our own offense. Let's not give up to these guys.
Oklahoma gets the ball to start the second half, down by a field goal. Russell puts it in the air. Short man at the 15-yard line as Madu brings it up, and we take a look at the Pacific Life game summary for the first half, and we will compare our 2 quarterbacks right here, and I suppose the difference is rather obvious there.
Yeah, the difference to us, we were talking before we came on, having a DeMarco Murray, having some of the freshmen that Landry Jones has to work with. Ryan Broyles is why he's able to make a short throw, and it comes up and gives him big yards because of their ability to make plays after the catch.
Jones swings it to DeMarco Murray, picks up a yard. And Aaron, what did Coach Pinkel say about his defense as Ebner makes that stop?
Hey, we go. He said he's not too happy with the way his D is handling this tempo. Get set quicker, get the calls in quicker.
And here's Landry Jones. Go ahead, Aaron.
Get your calls in quicker. Let's go, Aaron.
Come on, here he comes.
Offense is
also,
moving.
guys, turnover battle. Very happy about that. They won that. Not happy about the flags. The motto for the defense: smell the perfume, but do not swallow it. It may kill you. We want to finish this out, guys.
It's dangerous perfume.
No doubt.
Third down and 9.
Well, Stills has made some big plays for these guys on third down. Top of the screen.
Incomplete. So it is 3 and out to start the second half.
And James Hanna had the opening that he needed to be able to make this play and pick up the first down. Good job of settling down right in the hole of the zone of Missouri's defense on third down. Ball's a little bit high, but of course he's got to be able to hold on to that football and make that catch for a first down.
So Tressway back to punt again, and here is Geddes. Geddes bobbled a fair catch on the first punt of the night, and that led to the Sooners' tying touchdown. Geddes being driven back, and looks like he stepped out of bounds. Yeah, right there.
Brent, this Missouri offensive line has played very well in the first half. They've given Gabbard time to throw. Look at this, over 4.5 seconds for him to eventually find his man downfield and be able to make a play. Not only that, but just they pulled him. This is down inside the 2-yard line. You got more coming around in motion. Backside, you have Palmgren and Fisher pulling around. Now on the right side, Webbles and Hope pulling around and leading the quarterback, showing some agility, but it's the experience and the toughness of this offensive line that I think has really stood out in the first half.
And Gabbard now looking for some playmakers. Oklahoma brings pressure. Gabbard downfield near side and perfect to Jackson. Jackson has been his go-to guy here tonight.
Again, Brent, talking at half, you and I just looking at this first half, the one thing you could say is Oklahoma's taken TJ Moe away from Gabbard, but give Gabbard and the Missouri offense credit for finding another weapon, and Jackson now has really been able to step up. 6 catches now in this football game.
There's 88 yards of offense, Herbie, already. Now they put the back in motion, throw back inside, deflected. So that play was disrupted by the OU front, and there's big Jeremy Beal who got in on it.
And the jailbreak screen, that might have looked like a little deflection by a defensive end, but Oklahoma spent a lot of time on the screen game that Missouri looks at as part of their running game. And Beal getting up and knocking that ball down to set up a 2nd and 10 is a big play, and it's been emphasized a lot in how to defend that this week.
Devin Moore, the running back. Gabbert didn't fool anybody. Sooners were ready, and here comes a big 3rd down for the Tigers and Gary Pinkel.
It's interesting. We had 11 possessions of football in the first half. 1 3-and-out combined for the two teams, and that was Oklahoma's first series. We start the second half with the first series for Oklahoma, 3-and-out, and now the Sooners defense has a chance if they can make a play here to force the Tigers out.
So now Gabbert hums it to Agnew. Ball comes free, and Jefferson picks it up for the Sooners and down to the 21-yard line.
Jonathan Nelson ripped that football out. I think maybe hesitation, wondering is it incompletion, but they called it a possession. But Nelson, the safety, part of the coverage there with Lewis, 28, gets his hand in there and just rips the ball away from Agnew before he goes to the ground. The ball is out before his right knee touched. Might take another look at that, but it looked like the ball clearly came out, and the Sooners capitalized.
Just ripped it out of there.
Sure did.
And the Sooners are ready to go, and now it's been stopped. Now instant replay will take a look at the right knee.
Previous play is under further review. Rolling on the field was catch fumble.
So we'll take a break now as they review this play. We'll come back. We'll take a closer look.
One-on-one coverage on the outside there, and it's a good job there by Landry Jones settling in and making a good throw. He's going to try to get this tempo cranked up here on 2nd and short.
DeMarco fumbles but gets it back.
This time, boy, DeMarco Murray doing a good job. There's the vision. The ball goes out, and that's why the fans reacted. Very fortunate that that ball bounced right back up into his hands.
1st down and 10. From the 11-yard line, fire end zone, incomplete. Broyles the target. So Herbie, just as you said going into commercial, I want to go back on that fumble. They confirmed it, that the knee was not down, and that leads to this play, a chance for a touchdown. He had him.
Yeah, he sure did. A great move to the inside, and it well-timed, actually. Surprised to see Broyles not hold on to that football, but a little juke, little move inside, back to the outside. Carl Geddes bid on it, and the play was well-timed up. Just Oklahoma that time not able to come up with a touchdown.
I want to apologize for some of our audio problems that we have incurred here. And we're working to correct them. We'll get it fixed. 2nd down and 10. And now there's a false start. That'll cost Oklahoma 5 yards. There's another mistake.
False start. Number 69 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Start thinking about the mistakes. It's starting to actually, Brent, add up for both teams. You know, Missouri had that fumble on the punt return to kind of give Oklahoma a chance to score and tie the game earlier at 7.
Complete to number 4.
So Stills was the target that time.
Yeah, they're trying to get the ball set up. It's just not a well-diagnosed play that time for Oklahoma.
Landry Jones back, incomplete. And that brings up a 4th down.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Brent, this Missouri defense, I don't think it's just by chance. This has been happening all year. They're the best defense in the red zone in the country. And I think at this point in the season, there's just a confidence about Missouri that when the team gets into this area, somebody's going to be able to separate and step up and make a play. And they do a good job of mixing up their looks and confusing the offenses. That time, I don't even think Landry Jones saw the defender.
Jimmy Stevens with a 30-yarder for the tie. Pulled it left. Missed it.
Well, Stevens has had some problems throughout his career of being consistent. He lost his job a year ago, and now he's taking it over. But, boy, an opportunity for Oklahoma to get back at even, and they missed the chance.
Another mistake by the Sooners. Missouri clinging to the lead. So it's 17-14, Missouri converting the field goal at the end of the half, and now the Sooners have missed a chance to tie it. And special teams are starting
for Oklahoma. Rain is coming down about as hard as it's fallen all night. First down and 10 for Gabbard and the Tigers. Stands in, and about 6 yards on that first down pass to Wes Kemp. He's a junior from St. Louis, Missouri. One of the things the coaches like about Kemp, Harvey, as you know, he's a very, very good downfield blocker. When they flash that screen, as they frequently do, he leads the way.
Yeah, 6'4", 220. It was good to see him get on board, making some big plays, receiving the ball. 10 catches last week against Texas A&M.
Second down and 6, and here's the handoff to Lawrence. And Lawrence appears to be stopped just short of a first down. So here comes your third down again.
I think running Lawrence and Josie and Moore, a big part of the success that Gabbard and the Missouri Tiger offense enjoyed in the first half. And they really split the play calling, about half pass, half run, but just mixing that in a little bit, making Oklahoma respect that aspect, opened up so much more in their passing game.
Josie is on the field. Jet sweep. Here he comes, trying to get to the first down marker and reaching for it. And it is a first down on the run by Josie. Travis Lewis, the All-American linebacker. We have not called Travis Lewis's name very much here tonight.
Have not. I think right now this is not his kind of game where he has a chance to get into the box and really defend against the run. He's out in space. He's athletic enough, but right now, got to give Missouri a lot of credit. When he's been matched up one-on-one, a lot of those times Missouri's won those battles.
First and 10. Oklahoma creeping up, trying to get there with pressure. Gabbard's pass is incomplete. Good coverage that time by Fleming, number 32, Jamel Fleming.
Fleming, you think about the corners that they've had the last couple of years. Dominique Franks on one side, Brian Jackson on the other. Both of those guys obviously leaving and putting Fleming in a position that he has to be able to take over on one side. DeMontre Hurst and Aaron Colvin, a true freshman, breaking in all new corners in this Sooner defense this year. And for the most part, they've been able to hold up and continue to get better each week.
Now it is second down and 10 for Gabbard and the Tigers. Near side, and a penalty has been called on Aaron Colvin. So Colvin, the freshman, is guilty on that play. Young man out of Oklahoma, and this will give the Tigers a fresh opportunity here, and just a number of mistakes committed by the Sooners in this game.
Just talked about the cornerback play and how these three have had to step up and fill in the large shoes of the two corners that have played so much. Pretty tight coverage. Does a good job with the right hand, but his body, couldn't necessarily see it from that angle, but his body definitely got there a little bit too early and caused the pass interference. But a good effort there with the technique coming around with that right hand.
Lawrence is now back next to Gabbard. He got the handoff going left side, and he was caught by an ankle that time. Jonathan Nelson
And again, the way Missouri's offensive line has been playing, I think it's good to see Missouri and their offensive coordinator, David Yost, believe in that ability to run the football. And, you know, they're not quite to 100 yards, but by mixing that in, it's only going to open up the jailbreak screen, the bubble screen, and the one-on-one matchups with their slot receivers against those linebackers. Gives them more to think about.
2nd and 6. Gabbert again looking downfield. Fires middle, wide open. And frequently tonight, he has been able to go into the middle. And that is another 19-yard gain, and he hits West Kemp.
There's been a helmet-to-helmet there. It's been a big topic that's been talked about so much this week in the NFL and even in the college game. It's been a big emphasis even before this week, by the way, in college football especially. It's like Carter may have led with his helmet when he's trying to come up to defend that pass against West Kemp.
You know, there's a back judge in this crew who has come up. Let's get the referee's call first.
Personal foul. Number 20 is the defense.
The aggressive one.
Good throws. You talked about the middle of the defense, right behind the linebacker. Watch Carter come in.
Oh, yes.
Lowers the head, crown of the helmet, right into a defenseless receiver. It's been talked about a lot this week, and that's a classic example of why it's being called.
Yeah, you've got to call that play and protect these youngsters and the pros on Sunday. And here's Josie, the freshman, and they're right down to that red zone.
This drive, and I don't know if it's going to end up in a field goal attempt or a touchdown, but this is exactly how to attack Oklahoma. Spreading them out from sideline to sideline, mixing in the run to make those linebackers have to come up and support that, and then going a little play action right behind the linebackers to be able to make a little bit of a cat and mouse game with the linebackers of Oklahoma.
Well, all this talk about one bubble screen after another, but Gabbert has been able to attack this secondary down the field a couple of times right in the middle, and he comes back there again. And it is a catch by Marcus Lucas, a freshman from Liberty, Missouri, his first catch of the night. And Herbie, they have definitely found something to attack in the middle.
Yeah, he's 8 of 10 now when he's decided to try to go to the middle. And how about another true freshman? We've talked so much. Lucas with a pretty good effort there. Ball thrown behind him, not only behind him, but low. He makes a heck of a catch there for his first catch, or second catch of his career.
With the rain falling, again, I want to apologize for some of the audio difficulties that we're having here in Columbia. First down and goal. They come back with a running play, and that's Josie, the freshman.
Number 41, Josie, the ball carrier.
This Oklahoma defense, one thing that they do not seem to have is a stout defensive line. The guys, especially in the middle, they've got great speed on the edge with Beal and Alexander. But in these kind of situations, can the guys in the middle, along with the linebackers, hold up and be physical at the point of attack?
Second down and goal. Only 2 down defensive linemen that time as they slip it outside to Devin Moore.
Pretty good play on the outside. We talked about Coleman when he had the pass interference. This time he just is able to get right by Jarrell Jackson. And Submarine, Moore trying to get to the outside. That was a great play by the freshman.
So here's your third and goal from the 13. Remember, it started at their own 20 after Oklahoma missed that field goal and a rain coming down. Before the snap.
Flag on the field. Delay on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
You know, when you look over to get confirmation, coordinators upstairs, Yost looking down at the play, signaling what they want in eventually. First time we've seen them actually get down to that play clock. Actually, second time we've seen it. One time it didn't get called. But when that play clock gets all the way down there, and Gabbert has to give up 5 yards. Dave Yost right there, offensive coordinator, took over for Dave Christensen, who's now the head coach at Wyoming. Promoted from within. Who's the quarterback coach on that staff.
And Gabbert pulls back. Going to drop a screen off. And that's Devin Moore. And this will bring the field goal unit onto the field. Here comes Russell.
Well, Corey Nelson's speed that time brought that play down. Used him as a spy on third down because of his speed. He just follows the eyes of the quarterback there to make that play.
30-yard field goal attempt for number 95, Grant Russell.
He put the Tigers ahead on the last play of the first half. This a 30-yarder. Curls it in. Up by 6. Only 34 points have been scored in the wind and the rain in Columbia. January 10th. Glendale, Arizona. Two teams will battle for the national championship trophy. Presented by Dr. Pepper. So who will it be this year? Can Alabama climb back? What about unbeaten Auburn? And here tonight, unbeaten Oklahoma and Missouri, with Mizzou leading on the strength of 2 field goals. With 6.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter, with the rain coming down in Columbia. It is fielded at the 15-yard line by the young fullback. Millard had it, and I want to remind everybody that on Monday night, believe it or not, the Cowboys are still in the thick of things as far as the NFC East is concerned. Remember, with the new schedule, there's a lot of division games late. They are 0-1 in the division, and what a huge game they have Monday night against the New York Giants. So don't count them completely out yet. And here is the freshman Finch in as the I-back out of the pistol formation for Oklahoma. And they flare it to him on this near side, and he picks up 8 yards.
He is a good-looking back as a freshman to go along with DeMarco Murray. And Brent, it's amazing to think past the halfway point in the third quarter, despite the opening kickoff return for a touchdown for Missouri, the 2 turnovers inside the red zone, a missed field goal, the injuries, Oklahoma still within 1 possession of potentially taking the lead despite all that.
Jones changes it up at the line, trying to be heard. Now he steps up under center, and he'll hand it off to the freshman for the first down.
Well, he does have a different gear back there. The coaches have talked about that. We saw it last week against Iowa State. It's a different environment than Iowa State, where they're up by 40 or 50 points. He's getting a taste of what it's really like to be a team that's ranked number 1 in the BCS standings, on the road, down the second half, rain. He's holding up very well.
Their version of the screen to Broyles. Out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Gatchker was over there defensively. There is number 6, very active defensive player for Coach Steckel. You talked about the new speed-based defense that Missouri has developed, and they have shown that here tonight. Here they are, Herbie, with a 2nd and 7. They go empty. Now the middle, and there is Broyles. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. Jackson makes the stop.
Well, Missouri brought pressure from the other side, and I'll tell you what, the offensive line did a good job of communicating, picking up the look. The defensive line slanted from the offense's right to the left. They brought a corner blitz from the right, picked everything up, gave Landry Jones the time, and he picked apart the one-on-one coverage, found his favorite target, Ryan Broyles.
The handoff to Finch, slides through the right side, breaks back to daylight. What a future. To the 28-yard line.
Brett, wouldn't you agree? Watching these smaller tailbacks, it's almost become the new trend. Guys like LaMichael James out at Oregon, these guys fit into these spread offenses so well, they almost hide behind the line, and then they get through before you know they're even there.
And that quickness, just like that,
yeah.
Herbie.
It's just a perfect fit. The characteristics, low center of gravity, incredibly quick, have some power, will surprise you with that. Going to step out of the game here. Murray will come back in, but it's no wonder that the coaches know that this guy's going to step in here and really provide a spark for this offense.
Second and 3 for the Sooners. And here's Murray. He has the first down. Oklahoma on the move, down by 2 field goals. Smith making the play defensively for the Tigers.
And this tempo has Missouri back on their heels. Landry Jones and the Sooners executing flawlessly on this drive. It's an important drive for Oklahoma. Just mentioned how they try to wear down defenses with the tempo. And right now you look into the eyes of that Missouri defense. They need another big play in the red zone. They've been doing it all night.
Murray motions out, play fake, goes far side, end zone, incomplete. Overthrew Kenny Stills.
Sooners have been down in the red zone 4 times tonight and only successful once. They had the missed field goal. They've had 2 turnovers and then the touchdown. See what kind of adjustments that Kevin Wilson, the offensive coordinator for Oklahoma, tries to make here and see if he can isolate one of his receivers or maybe Murray out of the backfield against the coverage from Missouri.
All right, the Tigers have been outstanding, as you saw in that graphic in this quarter, have not yielded a touchdown. Rattery, number 47, the tight end at the top. Here comes pressure, can't get there. Landry Jones, but short of the first down is Kenny Stills.
Boy, Kenny Stills does a good job of using his body on that quick slant. You got to get the football to the receiver as fast as you can, let him be able to make a catch, maybe break a tackle, but this time Stills just catches the ball, uses his body, and embraces it, gets close to the first down.
Now here's where the Tigers have been so tough in the red zone and in the third quarter. Stoops checks that clock. Jones has the play, 3rd down and 3. Fires, first down. They went back to Cameron Kinney, the senior receiver, for the 1st and goal.
That is a big-time throw and a great catch by Kenny. That ball is thrown to the inside. Tight coverage by the senior Geddes, but Kenny does a good job of using his hands to secure that football. Good throw and even a better catch by the senior.
1st and goal, and DeMarco Murray, the touchdown maker, is right behind Landry Jones. Gets the call. Here he comes, left side, and he's short. 2nd down and goal. Simmons making the play.
Pretty good play by Simmons, the safety coming up in run support. The Tigers, they may be inside the 5-yard line, but this Tigers defense not giving up yet.
Play action, fire top, touchdown. We're tied as he hits James Hanna.
They lulled him to sleep, and this time Hanna right in front of you, gets right behind coverage. Remember Simmons, 9, had made such a good play the previous play against the run. This time he gets caught up into thinking about the run, and Hanna, the tight end, slips right behind him, and it's a good call on 2nd down by Kevin Wilson. Instead of waiting for 3rd down, they make the proper call on 2nd down with an aggressive play call, and they're an extra point away from taking the lead.
Jimmy Stevens, the extra point. And Oklahoma takes the lead in Columbia. 2:48 remaining in the 3rd. Well, 2:48 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and the number 1 team in the BCS rankings, Oklahoma, with its first lead of the night, 21-20. Landry Jones and the team comes right down the field with an impressive drive. And now O'Hara, and it'll be fielded at the 3 by Marcus Murphy. And Murphy upended, keeps going, maintains his balance, and he's out to the 26. And now for today's big picture, brought to you by Sony. And there are several major storylines, beginning with Michigan State coming back to stay unbeaten.
It's amazing what Mark D'Antonio has been able to do with that football team. Remember the issues they had off the field last year, getting ready for their bowl game, but off to a great start, remain unbeaten. Wisconsin with a big win after the upset against number 1 last week at home. They go to Iowa and knock it off for Brett Bielema's alma mater. Auburn stays unbeaten as they get it done at home against LSU. Some great games today. Another typical Saturday of college football.
Devin Moore gets the handoff, tries the left side, and there's a penalty flag as he reaches the 31-yard line. We've got 6 penalties on Missouri and 4 on Oklahoma here tonight.
Holding, number 68 in the offense.
So that is holding on number 68. That is on Britt, Justin Britt. So that'll cost the Tigers.
And that's exactly how Coach Gary Pinkel does not want to see a pivotal drive here in the second half get started. Now they're at 1st and 20. There's that spread look from Missouri.
All across the board. 5 receivers. And whistle just prior to the snap.
Oklahoma calls its first charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
Well, somebody didn't recognize the man they were supposed to be covering.
Yeah.
And the coaches saw it on that sideline when they had spread the field, and Brent Venables bring his defense over.
And that was one of those things where Missouri hasn't shown that look tonight. And I think there was a little bit of confusion in the secondary, and Brent Venables and Bob Stoops say, you know what, we're going to have to use one of our timeouts here just to make sure we don't give up a big play.
Well, millions of people watch the family go from ordinary to extraordinary, and the adventure is just beginning. Michael Chiklis stars in the super-powered series, ABC's No Ordinary Family, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on ABC. Can you find the back judge for me? Interesting story with our back judge. Many of you who follow football will recognize the name Hockley, and there he is, the young man, Sean Hockley. And, of course, Ed Hockley is his father, longtime referee in the National Football League. And I asked Sean, are you as buff as your father? He said, no, I can't keep up with Pops in the weight room.
No way. I don't know if anybody can.
First down and 20. He has another Hockley who's going into officiating. So it's a family affair with the Hockleys. Back now is Gabbert, wants to go deep. Got a man wide open is Kemp, Wes Kemp. And again, he has been able to strike deep against his
was to put an extra defender to the backside, which left the play side with 4 receivers. They were a man short, and Wes Kemp finds an opening. Gabbert again has the time, but Oklahoma may need to make an adjustment to that formation. This time they give it to him to the left with 1 receiver left down to the bottom there to the right side of the offensive formation.
36 yards on that play. Gabbert right back at it, and that basically a running play, and it was blown up by Wirt. Agnew was the receiver, and I want to tell you that time, Tom Wirt, redshirt freshman, he just stoned that play.
He read that right away. He probably saw it about 20 or 30 times in practice all week, and that's how you make a clean hit on a defenseless player who doesn't have a chance to come down. He hit him with his shoulder pads right into the ribs. Nice shot by Ward.
2nd and 12 for Gabbert and Missouri. Five wide, in trouble. Gabbert steps away from it though, and almost intercepted that time. There was great pressure by Corey Nelson, who chased him out of the pocket, and then Colvin almost intercepted it.
Well, one true freshman chases the quarterback down, and Corey Nelson, who's going to be a future star in this defense. Fortunate for Gabbert, he gets away. And then another true freshman almost comes up with the interception. Aaron Colvin is going to be a big-time player for this Oklahoma defense. Boy, you can just see he's got ball skills and poise. Held up very well in some of his playing time against Texas in a big, big game. He's going to be a big-time player.
3rd and 12. Gabbert stands up. Got it. Fumble if they give it to him. Oklahoma football. Reception and fumble. Corey Nelson again, that time on T.J. Moe. They called it a reception and a fumble. And an OU player is shaken up. That's Carter.
Fleming came on the blitz. That's who was lined up against T.J. Moe, and it left Carter back there to be able to make a play on the football. Looked
that
like
might be turned over. Let me see here. Did he make a football move after he secured the ball?
In super slow-mo, it sure is hard to tell. You know, I think both feet come down. He turns his head, and right then Carter hits him. That's the 2nd time here that Missouri this half has had a receiver lose the football.
Let's take a look at it, Herbie. You mentioned slow motion. Let's take a look at it in real time.
previous play is under further review.
Yeah, they'll look at this one in the review booth.
That's a bang,
believe
that's
me.
a bang play. Good luck to the boys upstairs looking at that one. That's a tough call.
Yeah, we've got an injured Oklahoma player being tended to. And by the way, Herbie, I want to give you the Montana Grizzly update. You know, I look forward to this. With 5 seconds left, they scored a touchdown today to beat Northern Arizona 24-21.
I was going to say, for you to give the Montana Grizzly update, I knew it was a win.
I do for you every week. You look for that. By the way, the Buckeyes came back today in impressive fashion, just destroyed Purdue after their loss a week ago. And everybody, the most surprising story of the week, though, is Iowa State, for the first time in history, beating Texas in Austin, 28-21.
How about Paul Rhodes last year? You remember the emotional speech to his team after the game when they went to Lincoln and knocked off Nebraska? And he was very emotional about, you know, I am so proud of this team.
Absolutely.
And now, a year later, to have a chance to go on the road into Austin. And as you said, first time in school history, knock off the Longhorns. Can you figure out Texas? Because
No.
I can't.
UCLA, loss in Austin. Iowa State, loss in Austin.
Beat
Terrific
Nebraska.
performance in Lincoln. Yeah, go figure. Well, they're youngsters, and we hope that Carter's going to be okay. And how about the Wisconsin Badgers today? 31-30 over Iowa. Great performance by the Badgers. We all thought they might be down a little bit, you know.
The football. It'll be 4th down. Missouri at the previous spot.
Yeah, you have to secure the football, but then you have to make a strong football move, and that's why that was ruled an incompletion.
But it is still, even with the incompletion, of 4th down, which means Missouri's still going to have to punt the ball to Oklahoma. But it's about field position, and there's the young man who made the play, the senior Quentin Carter, made the play on the intended receiver T.J. Moe.
So it's 4th down and 12, and Broyles will go back as the punt returner. The #1 team in the BCS rankings, clinging to that 1-point lead as we approach the 4th quarter. We've done this game a couple times before in Big 12 championship games. And both of those occasions we did the game, Oklahoma blew Missouri out.
And they manhandled them up front. And that has not been the story tonight. Missouri's offensive line has played well, and the defense has really buckled down in the red zone for the most part, but the Sooners still have that lead.
Graebner with the rugby punt. And here's Broyles, going to let it roll toward the end zone. It'll come out in the 20. 21-20, Oklahoma leads it.
51-yard punt.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy? And Nissan, proud partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Only down by a point. Last minute of the 3rd quarter, and here comes Finch. The young man is growing up after rushing for 92 yards last week in that blowout of Iowa State. He has come back here tonight, and he's rushed for 60 against Missouri.
Will Ebner, the middle linebacker who made that play, I'll tell you what, he's playing most of this year injured with a foot injury, but he is very physical at the point of attack, making some big plays for Missouri's defense.
Henry Jones, Finch makes a fine catch on that play. Turning around, making a grab.
I talked to Bob Stoops about him on the field before the game just to get a little bit more on him. Again, out of Niceville, Florida, in the Panhandle. Said of all the players he's ever recruited, he said you ought to see his highlight film in high school. He said he pretty much did whatever he wanted in high school.
Yeah, in fact, Kevin Wilson told us that he was hard to catch in a phone booth. That's how good he was.
You could see it.
As time runs out here on the 3rd quarter. So we have come to the end of the 3rd. Oklahoma, the #1 team, leads, but only by 1. This presentation of Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines, returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. ABC's new drama, Detroit 187. It stars Michael Imperioli and James McDaniel. It's about doing what's right when everything is going wrong. All new episode Tuesday at 10, 9 Central on ABC. Incidentally, those 6 columns, campus icon here, once stood as the academic hall. It burned down in 1892, and only those 6 columns survive. Third down coming up. Landry Jones up at the play. His father just adored Tom Landry, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and he named his young son Landry. And here he is dumping it off, incomplete. And that Mizzou defense holds as we start the 4th quarter. Great pressure that time was exerted by Michael Sam and Alden Smith.
Yeah, a little twist up front and a good job by the freshman Sam of getting home. And again, it's not necessarily always getting at the sack, but just making that quarterback feel the pressure and forcing him to get rid of the football. And that time, good coverage downfield. He had nowhere to go with the football.
Good 3 and out, Herbie.
They needed that.
Here we come now. Tressway is back to punt. Carl Geddes. Geddes gonna let it roll, and it takes an Oklahoma bounce, crosses the 30-yard line, and that's where Missouri will have it. As we take a look at the Pacific Life game summary for the 3rd straight week, a #1 ranked team in the nation, Oklahoma, under pressure here.
And what doesn't show up here in our Pacific Life game summary are the miscues by Oklahoma. They've really had some chances. Missouri's defense has made plays when they've had to down in the red zone the way they have all year. Oklahoma very fortunate to be up 21-20 considering all the mistakes they've made.
See if Oklahoma has shored up the middle of this pass defense. Gabbert frequently has been able to find Jackson, Kemp, and Moe in the middle. On 1st down and 10, he comes to the near side this time. So if they have made an adjustment and shaded some of the safeties there, he comes back another way.
And a matchup to watch. Sam Proctor, 27, a junior, has come into this football game for Quentin Carter, who stepped out after making that play. We saw him go into the locker room. Proctor has some experience, but these safeties have gotten into some trouble in one-on-one matchups. Let's see if Proctor checking in can do any better.
2nd and 8. Oklahoma will put full 4 linemen down. They rush 4, keep 7 back, and Gabbert slides it in for the 1st down to Brandon Giroux. His first catch of the night. Let's check in down below with Aaron.
Herbie, you're way ahead of me on Quentin Carter. They took him back into the locker room. They were examining his neck. When they brought him over to the table on the sideline, he was in extreme pain. They were pressing all around his neck, the back of it, around his spinal cord, so they wanted to take him in for more evaluation.
Whenever a player goes into that hip area, always get concerned about the neck of the defender.
Josie, the freshman, in the middle. There's a hole across midfield and still going to the 45-yard line. So we have raved about the Oklahoma freshman, but this Missouri freshman has got a burst. 15.
Offensive line controls things up front. They spread the linebackers out of the box. You have to be able to line up and defend against the pass. You get the numbers that you need in the box. That's something that Missouri always looks for. If they have the numbers, they have to have the ability to run the football.
Now, Herbie, as you mentioned, 27. Proctor did not wrap him up well on that replay. 1st down and 10. Gabbert is back in the gun. Steps up, steps away. Nobody open. He'll take off. And he picks up about 7 yards before he steps out of bounds. He's a kind of a runner who can hurt you. He can pick up the 1st down. Doesn't have breakout on top speed. Not like one of the spread quarterbacks such as those that play out in Oregon.
Right.
But he can be very lethal. He's a very smart quarterback.
He's smart. He's deceptive with his speed at 6'5". And if you leave him alone and you're so concerned about all the receivers in the game, he's got enough speed to be able to take advantage of some space, as he did right there.
Such a different looking formation than what they feature out at Oregon with the running back and the quarterback. Here they spread the field. Fire complete. Breaks out as Jackson. Touchdown. Missouri regains the lead. And another #1 in deep trouble. 38 yards for the go-ahead score.
This is a textbook on how not to tackle. Watch Jonathan Nelson, number 3, coming in. Goes for the knockout punch. Doesn't bring his arms with him to wrap up Jackson. Just tries to explode through the receiver. Doesn't try to wrap him up. And a good, talented receiver like Jackson is able to take on the blow, stay up, keep his balance, and then go into the end zone.
They're going to go for 2 right now. Lead it by 5. They're going to try to make it a 7. Oklahoma tries to get some personnel on the field to match up here. Gabbert quickly on the handoff, running play, but there's a whistle and a flag.
Penalty flag.
Now, Oklahoma was late getting players on the field.
Yeah, and Bob Stoops was trying to call a timeout.
Substitution on the defense. Half the distance, retry.
That makes a 2-point play a little bit easier, and even though they showed run that time, now they can really threaten with the run.
They had 12 players on the field, some confusion. Maybe they were anticipating just an extra point. They were not ready for Missouri going for 2. They had players running on and off. Had 12 players on the field that time. Bob Stoops desperately trying to yell for the timeout.
So they move it from the 3 to the 1.5. This for the 2. Devin Moore, who they hand it off to, is right there alongside Gabbert. Fumble, and they won't get it. Gabbert bobbled the ball. He was going to keep it on a running play, lost the handle.
The 2-point conversion failed.
Seen a couple times tonight, Brent, where Gabbert just, he's coming off of that play action. I mean, coming off of the play fake, trying to get underneath the defender. If he would have been able to hold on to the football, he had a shot. But how about the arm strength on that touchdown pass to Jackson?
Yeah, he does have that fastball. Missouri leads it. 12:43 to go. Another barn burner involving a number 1. Sellout crowd here in Columbia, Missouri. It's a sea of old gold, and the alums are really enjoying this. And here comes Madu out. 20. Breaks the tackle, penalty flag. A penalty flag comes flying. Madu to the 34-yard line.
On the return for Oklahoma. Penalty flag on the play.
During the return, holding number 25 of the receiver. 10 yards from spot of foul, first down.
It could be Nelson or somebody. Yeah, that's Corey as we check in with Robert Flores in New York.
All right, Brent, here's what's happening on SportsCenter right now, presented by Sprint. Alabama, no problem with Tennessee, 41-10. A.J. McCarron in garbage time hooks up with Trent Richardson. And the Giants, 5 outs away from a World Series. Tim Lincecum trying to shut it down. Giants lead the Phillies 3-2.
Now Lincecum's on. All right, they are trying to shut it down right now. Here, Oklahoma, the number 1 team, needing a drive, and it's picked off, intercepted. The second interception, and Xavier Gooden read this perfectly on the throw to the fullback and made an athletic interception.
I think he predetermined where he wanted to go with his football. And how about Smith getting a hand on the ball and deflected? But Gooden, focused, does a good job in coverage, is able to come up with a pivotal interception for this Missouri defense.
12 and a half minutes now, and Missouri will take over just outside the red zone for Blaine Gabbert from the 22. Will Pinkel dial up an attack of the end zone right away? 5 receivers. Gabbert is back, fires up to the far side, and Jackson, who scored the touchdown, picks up about 7 yards inside the 15-yard line, and here come the Tigers.
More miscommunication for this Oklahoma defense. And that time, Tony Jefferson running onto the field late, trying to get over on the left side of the defense. Some of these defensive backs right now looking over and shrugging their shoulders, wondering about the coverage.
Second down and 3. Lawrence checks in as the running back. Gabbert fires. There's the hook and ladder. And here comes Lawrence down the side. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown. How about that? Agnew to Lawrence.
This is what you call playing to win. David Yost, the offensive coordinator, unbelievable call, and may have stepped out of bounds. We'll have to take another look at that, but what a call. Well, to get the ball back to one of your skill people, Lawrence, who's got speed.
This is going to be real close.
Runner stepped out of bounds. First down.
That's a good call.
They're saying that he stepped out right here. Coming up. That toe right there.
Made the right call in the field. They didn't even need to go upstairs. But what about the call by David Yost? Capitalizing, they get the big turnover. They go with a hook and lateral, throwing it a little. I always think of Nat Moore. Was it Tony Nathan back in the day when the Miami Dolphins?
No, there's only one hook and ladder you should be remembering.
Oh,
and Oklahoma should too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you, the Boise State hook and ladder.
Yeah.
That was the one in the Fiesta Bowl. Devin Moore now is the running back alongside. Here's a handoff. Devin throwing for a loss that time, and Sam Proctor came up, and he did make a fine play that time. Filling in for Carter. This was a good play by 27.
Yeah, Proctor maybe starting to feel a little bit better. Second series that he's been into this game. Again, he's played some football. He knows what his assignment is. It's a matter of just getting the right call, getting lined up, and being able to execute. He's still waiting on the call.
Pinkel knows one thing. Do not squander a field goal if you get down here to third down. Do not throw it away under any circumstance. Gabbert dives for the end zone, and he's short. They'll get one more crack at it, and then a field goal that could put them up by 8.
You can see that this is clearly a read. This is kind of the play that they wanted to go with. Beal followed the back. Maybe Oklahoma underestimating the speed of Gabbert. He pulls that, cuts underneath the block, and then almost is able to get into the end zone. Good job that time. Nice read by Blaine Gabbert. Comes close to getting the football into the end zone for a big lead for Missouri.
Tim Barnes the center. Webbles is the guard on the right, and Palmgren on the left. And there's that familiar formation. They don't have a power eye. They never run it. And this sets up the field goal. Jeremy Beal makes a stop on Devin Moore. Crowd did not like that play call. But the one thing that Missouri did not want to squander here with a 3-point coming up now with their very good field goal kicker.
Absolutely, Brent. And really a slow developing play with the speed of Beal. Really, that play never had a chance. Just took too long for the right tackle and the right guard to come around. Beal came down and blew it up.
23-yarder now. And Russell nails it. What a weapon he is. One of the best kickers in the Big 12. Will it be 3 straight weeks that number 1 has gone down?
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online, only at southwest.com. Allstate, dollar for dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate. Are you in good hands? And Enterprise Rent-A-Car, we'll pick you up.
So this is one of the largest homecomings in the country. Here at Missouri, they say they invented the tradition. And a huge crowd on hand here, and it'll come out on the 20-yard line. 71,004 on hand here today, and we want to remind you, of course, that Sunday football tomorrow. NFL Countdown presented by IBM on ESPN, Sunday at 11 a.m. Chris Berman and the guys will have updates from all around the country. Eagle quarterback. Is it a controversy? Andy Reid spinning back and forth from Kevin Kolb to Michael Vick. And how about Brett Favre's return to Lambeau? That is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. DeMarco Murray will be right behind Landry Jones. 9:44 to go. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie. Murray flares left side. Got it on no. One hopper. Won't catch that.
You know, the Oklahoma offense last time out, of course, they had the interception by Jones. But look, Brent, the entire year, it's uncharacteristic of Bob Stoops. His teams have been outscored 60-24 in the fourth quarter in the year.
They had big leads, Herbie, in several of those games, and they went flat. 2nd down and 10, but they managed to hang on. As here is Murray. One thing stands out. As you look at the 2009 season, we all know about the injuries. But there's one other thing about Stoops in Oklahoma. They did not play well away from Norman, Oklahoma. They had enormous problems on the road. For example, in Lubbock, they were beaten 41-13. That's just an example
of their troubles on the road. And here tonight, they're down 29-21, deflected, incomplete. On that third down, Kenny was the intended receiver. And here it comes, 4th and 6 with 9 minutes to go. They'll have to punt it away.
Brent, they've been doing this all night. Defensive ends, like a zone pressure. They're just faking like they're going to rush. They drop back, zone pressure, and then they just sit in the throwing lane in the window of the quarterback on those quick throws, those slants that Oklahoma likes to throw so much. Dave Steckel, good job of taking away the easy underneath routes of Landry Jones tonight.
So the injured Carter. Geddes is back deep to return. Trustway punting it. Gets it off. And it hits a Sooner at about the 23-yard line. And so when you come back, that's where Blaine Gabbert and the Tigers will have it. Number 1 in trouble for the 3rd straight week. So here's your story. A couple of weeks ago, Alabama went into South Carolina. They were upset. Ohio State moved to 1 last Saturday night. They were dumped. Here tonight, as we switch to the BCS rankings from the AP, Oklahoma number 1. They're down 8 here in the 4th quarter. And Gabbert back in the gun. With the field spread, he's going to flash it off to the side now. They'll go to work on that screen game. And they pick up a couple of yards on that pass to young Murphy out there. You know, Herbie, if you go back to just the Associated Press poll, the last time that research could find that there were 3 consecutive weeks in which the top-ranked team in the nation fell, 1960. Minnesota went down. Then it was Iowa. They went down. And would you believe it? Missouri was the 3rd number 1 ranked team, and they went down. That's a big milestone for the Herb Street family, huh?
That was my dad's senior year.
Absolutely, at Ohio State. Here's the handoff now to Devin Moore. Moore crashes through. Got a first down. Breaks the daylight. Wrapping up the ball. Back on the field is Quentin Carter defensively. He was trying to strip him, and they could not. Devin Moore takes it to the Sooners 36 on a 39-yard run.
Good block here by Tim Barnes and Dan Hope leading the way. But right here, Oklahoma starts to not only have poor tackling, they're trying to strip the ball. Moore keeps his feet moving and picks up another 20 yards. Poor tackling this time by Tom Ward, who had a chance. Quentin Carter, who's back in the game. Fleming getting dragged along. Jonathan Nelson got another 15 or 20 yards.
Gabbert back with the field spread again. Looking downfield, fires middle, got another one. Inside the 20 to TJ Moe, making a living tonight. Going right down the middle of the field against the Sooners.
Interesting this time that Quentin Carter was a little hesitant to come up to make the play. Watch 20 this time. Remember, he slows down a little bit. One time he got called for a 15-yard penalty for a helmet-to-helmet. Another time he came in with his shoulder, and I think he got a bit of a stinger. That time hesitant and allowed Moe to make the catch.
Gabbert has thrown for better than 300 yards here tonight as he picks up 18 more. Runs up on the handoff, and here's Josie, short of the end zone.
Boy, this offensive line, I said it in the first series. The difference between the games when Chase Daniel was here and what we're seeing tonight is the Missouri offensive line, a veteran group, taking control of this game and giving this running game enough. Missouri has 154 yards rushing tonight against the Sooners.
Fisher, Palmgren, Barnes, Webbles, and Hoke. Here's the Tiger. They're going to direct snap it now to James Franklin. He can run it out of it. Here's their formation. Here he comes. And he is stopped as he keeps on running for the end zone. Arms aren't up yet. There's the touchdown signal by the line judge. That is freshman James Franklin. He's a young man from Texas, and he ran him in to run the Tiger. They told us yesterday, watch for this formation, and David Yost pulls the trigger.
Great job by Franklin, and a play that almost illustrates the football game. Look at the offensive line helping push the Sooners into the end zone. On the back side of that video, it looked like Franklin was almost parallel to the surface of the field. I don't know how he's able to stay up. This will be a great angle. He's on top of a Sooner defender. I don't think he ever touches the ground. But what an effort by not only Franklin, but the offensive line. Right there, it looks like he's down, but he's actually laying on top of an Oklahoma defender.
It is so important for good play callers to keep something in their hip pocket for when you come down the stretch. Some of them are forever calling all their gadgets in the first half. But here, David Yost sat on a play, and he wanted a kill shot with the young man, the biggest game in years for Missouri. And he sent the young man out with the Tiger formation.
How about after the big interception? They went with the hook and lateral. You think about the hook and lateral, and you think about putting Franklin in. 2 plays that they've kind of saved here for this second half.
David Yost is one of the most interesting coordinators that you will ever talk to. He will tell you everything and anything that you want to know.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Touchdown, and now Missouri's got number 1 in serious trouble.
There is Dave Yost right there. Look at the shades up on top.
Yeah.
He
looks like
he's from
surfer.
Ohio, by the way. He looks like he's from Orange County.
But Lake Erie surfer?
Yeah. How about this? We talked so much about the BCS standings tonight, number 1. Don't look now, but the old Missouri Tigers sitting at 11, if they hold on here, are undefeated. And when you knock off number 1, you're going up. Got Nebraska next week.
36-21.
Missouri, 36. Roy Finch in number 17.
So you can take a look at what Missouri has accomplished in the 4th quarter already. 16 points. Oklahoma's scoreless. They lead at 36-21. Fumble. Picked up by Madu. In trouble. Battles his way back. Got the far side. Got an alley. Madu will cut to the middle. Shake and bake. Could go the distance. And he is down to the 15-yard line. A remarkable return.
Brent, how many times in your amazing career have you seen this happen on a kickoff?
Time after time.
A guy misses it. It looks like it's going to be a big turnover. Everybody gets out of their lanes. He moves around like it's backyard football, and then there's nobody left to be able to slow him down. Missouri fortunate that they had some hustle from a couple guys, and they were able to come up with a play. Kip Edwards saved the touchdown, and this is a very interesting game. There's still 6 minutes to go in this game.
Absolutely. A strike here, and Oklahoma's right back in it. Their last 3 drives, punt, interception, punt. But now they've got a golden opportunity to get right back in the thick of things here. Jones, under pressure, has to throw it away, and there's a penalty flag. If there was no receiver there, that's intentional grounding. Pressure from Gooden, number 25, the sophomore from Texas.
They had men downfield. The ball was thrown behind the line of scrimmage. There may have been a holding call there. Usually when the line judge calls it, it's illegal men downfield. They had a couple linemen 10 or 15 yards downfield. But he threw the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Oklahoma linemen are kind of pointing to Missouri, Brent, indicating it might go against the Tigers.
Holding on the defense. Penalty being forced half the distance to the goal line. First down.
So defensive holding. And the Sooners move a little bit closer here to the 7-yard line.
They're going to call that on Will Ebner, 32. Right there, he gets a hold of DeMarco Murray. See him holding on to Murray. Murray doesn't even have the football yet. He just grabs a hold of him. He knew it was coming. He just ended up getting there a little bit prematurely.
Now first down and goal. Jones, end zone, and there's a penalty flag. There's a penalty on Geddes. Carl Geddes was defending Broyles on the play. That's back-to-back penalties against Mizzou here at the 6-minute mark.
And this time Geddes, who's just a veteran, a guy who's played a lot of football, 4-year starter, he gets wrapped up with Ryan Broyles, a couple grizzled veterans here in the Big 12 with Broyles. Got a hold of that jersey.
number 19 of the defense. Spot foul. First down.
Sooners get inside. They're about at the 2-yard line right now. Geddes locks up and holds on to him there. It's a good call right in front of the official. Good news about this for Oklahoma. Still 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the game. They moved the ball down to the 2-yard line without having to execute a play yet.
First and goal, down 15. Stoops and the Sooners are ready. Five on the play clock. Now 3, 2. And they back away with a timeout. So Stoops had to come down and burn a valuable timeout here in this situation. What is interesting about this game tonight is that next Saturday, Herbie, you and I will be in the Los Angeles Coliseum, and Oregon, number 2 in the BCS standings, could climb to number 1 if OU loses this game. And as you pointed out, if they score a touchdown here, they're right back in it. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but if Oregon goes to number 1, they're going to have their hands full next week in Los Angeles.
There's no doubt about that. And this could be maybe the toughest test that Oregon has remaining.
Absolutely.
There's been so much attention on Oregon. It's almost like USC, after a couple losses and not bowl eligible, kind of a forgotten team. Meanwhile, Matt Barkley and the USC offense scoring at will, almost 500 yards a game offensively. Barkley probably playing as well as any quarterback in college football this year. You just don't hear a lot about it. That could be a shootout next week. That'll be some fun.
First down and goal for the Sooners, who still have time to have a say in who's number 1 next week. Millard, touchdown Oklahoma. They come back to the freshman fullback from Columbia, Missouri, right here.
Boy, talk about taking advantage of an opportunity. The big return by Madu, a couple penalties against Missouri, and the offensive line gets a push. That's something we've not seen a lot of. They took control of things up front, got to push. Millard easily goes into the end zone.
So now they go for 2. Landry Jones with DeMarco right alongside. Remember, the Sooners are down to only 1 timeout remaining in this game. Rolls in Broyles' direction, fires deflected. Broyles on the tip, incomplete. Field judge is right there, off the ground, no catch.
I know it's a different end zone and a different set of teams, but I remember you made a call, I think it was 97 with Nebraska and Missouri on a big tip. That was a crucial point when Matt Davidson ended up catching the ball from Nebraska. Here a tip, looked like Broyles may have a chance.
Into the football, may have caught the turf.
Wow, that was closer than I thought. Somehow that ball got into Kenny Stills. That is a great effort by Ryan Broyles. Wow.
And it leaves it at a 9. That's why this is so important.
And they've not made any call at all yet on the field to say that they're
lining up for the kickoff.
Take a look at this. Yeah, they're not even reviewing this yet. Now there, the ball looks like it hit the ground.
The point of the football struck the ground, incomplete, and so it is 36-27.
But it turned like that. I mean, it's still 9, still 2 possessions.
And the hands team for Missouri quickly comes on the field, expecting the onside kick at the 6-minute mark. Because remember, OU still needs 2 scores. They trail it by 9.
Only down to 1 timeout. Had to burn a couple timeouts.
Trust Way for the onside.
The flag down. Looks like maybe.
Did it go 10?
Well, one of the Oklahoma coverage guys may have been offsides before the kick.
Illegal touching. One official had illegal touching. I don't know what the other call may be.
It looked like the umpire may have. Yeah, there are 2 or 3 guys that were across the line before he even.
You can't touch that ball because it didn't go 10 yards. That's illegal touching on the part of Oklahoma. So they'll huddle up down there. This has been a very well officiated game so far by this crew.
And it has not been easy. You know, I talked to the commissioner, Dan Beebe, earlier today. It's interesting when they go to 10 teams next year, going to play the schedule the Pac-10's
playing.
playing.
A flag on the field here in the middle. The Missouri players kind of disrupting the officials. You talked about the huddle they had. There were about 6 or 7 Missouri players out there by the huddle, and refs tried to push them back, and finally they just threw a flag.
Wow. Now, I want to go back on Dan.
Yeah,
They're going to play a round robin. You're going to play all 9 teams in the conference starting next year.
Good.
Yeah, I agree with it.
That's great.
Yeah, because we like the Pac-10 schedule.
I
so
love it.
now, meanwhile, we've got to sort this problem out
much
here.
More challenging.
Like you say, a late penalty flag came.
And Gary Pinkel is saying, listen, give us the ball right there and move us back 15 yards if you're going to call a dead ball penalty. It's interesting.
So here we come.
Offsides on the kicking team. That penalty is declined. There was an illegal touch. It will be Missouri's ball at the spot of that touch. After the play, unsportsmanlike, number 29 in Missouri. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So Jackson was involved. Stoops is now upset on the other side.
Bob Stoops, if you go back to the replay, is saying, I saw the replay. He's trying to sell that his player didn't touch the ball illegally. He's saying that he slid across the 10-yard mark and reached back to be able to catch the ball.
Watch 29 and see if he doesn't there. See that helmet come off? That's a penalty right there. See, the referee was standing right there, and under no circumstance can he take his helmet off, and he incurs the penalty. Regardless, Missouri with a 9-point lead, and the ball coming out for the 46. Devin Moore gets the handoff, and Devin Moore running very well late in this game. Remember this running back by committee. The reason why they do it, well, Derek Washington was kicked off this team prior to the start of the season for a felony sexual assault. I understand the young man is back home in Kansas City, and we hope that he puts his life back together. He was a fine football player, got into a lot of trouble here, and was run off the team. So Gary Pinkel has had to use a running back by committee, and here's one of the 4. Henry Josie, number 41, has now checked in. 5:28. There's the handoff to Josie.
You know, you mentioned Gary Pinkel, and think about this. In 10th year coaching at Missouri, he's been so close. We've called a lot of the games with Missouri against Oklahoma. We called a game last year with Missouri and Texas. 0-11 coming into tonight against Oklahoma and Texas. And if Missouri's able to hold on here and get a win, big congratulations to a guy who runs a first-class program in Gary Pinkel, because this was a big win if they hold on for Gary as a head coach, but for this program to kind of show the rest of the Big 12 that they can play with the big boys.
You know, one of the things that we really like about Pinkel is the fact that he's so level all the time when you're running. Not any great big highs, not any great big lows. And here's why that's important. As you know, next week, they've got to go to Lincoln.
Even bigger.
I mean, back-to-back huge games.
Yeah.
And Nebraska's coming off a big win over Oklahoma State. And so Pinkel closing in on the biggest win of his career, in our opinion. He will not say that tonight.
No.
He will not say it under any
way.
circumstance.
No, he can't. He can't. But congratulations to him if they're able to hold on. Long way to go still.
And Oklahoma out of timeouts. 3rd down and 6. OU down 2 scores. Gabbert fires. Very impressive performance by Blaine Gabbert. Coming back to Jackson.
Gabbert's pass complete to number 29, Jarrell Jackson.
So a reminder that you can stay tuned on these ABC stations for your late local news. And of course, if you haven't had enough football, go on over to ESPN2 and watch SportsCenter for post-game analysis and today's scores and highlights as we come down to the end.
How about Jackson limping off here? I don't know if he's going to come out of the game, but did he ever step up tonight? 9 catches, 140 yards, and a touchdown. And to think that Mo and Egnew were really the go-to guys for Gabbert coming into tonight, but Jackson steps up with his opportunities.
Won't it be interesting if this holds up?
4th down.
Here we come now. Let's
See what they want to do.
Bringing in the big boys.
Jumbo.
Bringing in the biggins.
Here's the quarterback, Blaine Gabbert, young man from Baldwin, Missouri. 14-5 as a starting quarterback at Missouri. 6'5", 230, a junior.
Look at Oklahoma, Brent. You mentioned out of timeouts. 5 minutes to go, 4th down. If they don't stop them here, it's going to be tough for Oklahoma to have any chance of getting back in this game. And it looks like they're just going to let the play clock down to 10. Oh, a rare under center snap.
There they are on 4th and 1, straight ahead by Gabbert. Keeps burrowing for the first down. 71,000 on hand for homecoming, and I don't think a soul has left.
How fitting for this offensive line. Look at Fisher, 72. He's played in a lot of these games. He's a 3-year starter. He's had his chance in the past against Oklahoma and Texas and not been able to come through. 3-year starter as a junior. Cannot say enough about the difference between this Missouri team from the years past and this year. That offensive line is impressive. Doing a great job all night.
They really have done a great job, Herbie. Had 4 starters return. Josie in now as the running back. Long side, they'll let the freshman.
Yeah, and people that have maybe not seen this game, or you think, you know, what's the difference? How come Chase Daniel couldn't knock off Oklahoma? I can tell you again, just to reiterate, the difference to me in watching Missouri, an offensive line that's tough, good group of wide receivers. Sure, Gabbert's making plays, but a tenacious defense to go along with an offense that's executing makes Missouri a kind of a veteran team in some key areas, kind of a tough team.
You know who's going to lose a bet tonight?
Who's that?
Quarterback by the name of Sam Bradford. Remember Denario Alexander?
Yeah.
Caught a touchdown pass for the Rams.
Up last
They're
week.
down in Tampa. Sam, get ready to reach for your wallet, young man. A couple of fine young men who came from these programs. There's Josie, and I want to remind everybody to stay tuned for the Ford wrap-up. That'll come up right after this game as we close in on 3 straight weeks of a #1 ranked team going down. Meanwhile, should Oregon climb to #1 in the BCS rankings, well, who knows? Maybe we'll have a 4th straight week when they take on USC. As Kirk Herbstreit told you, that basically is their bowl game. They're not eligible to go to a bowl this year. That'll be the one that USC wants.
Absolutely, Brent. And how about this? You start to think about the BCS standings. All these teams need to lose to give Boise a chance to get up in the top 2.
Deflected incomplete. And that was Jeremy Beal making the play.
And if this lead holds up and Missouri knocks off a #1 again, you have Alabama have gone down, Ohio State's gone down, Nebraska's gone down, you know, LSU's gone down, potentially now Oklahoma's
and
going
the Philadelphia Phillies just went down too, my friend. Congratulations to San Francisco. 3-2. It's the Giants and the Texans. That's who you picked, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I had in April. Yeah, me and everybody had Texas San Fran in the World Series.
3-2 final. Congratulations to the Giants. The Giants and the Rangers. And here, Missouri up by 9. Broyles back deep, makes the fair catch at the 7-yard line. 2:39 now.
But my point there is Boise all of a sudden is no longer a cute little story. They are now, tomorrow, good chance that they move up to 2. Now, I know Auburn's still out there. Auburn knocks off a powerhouse today, an undefeated LSU. They're going to move up. The Missouri Tigers, if they hold on, they're not going to move up into the top 2 or 3, but they're going to be now a team to look out for. Michigan State's a team to look out for.
DeMarco Murray is there. Landry Jones in the end zone, and he has to throw that one away. Murray was being covered by Smith. Jacquez Smith picked up #7.
And just a lot of confusion on the left side of Oklahoma's offensive line. The left tackle, Donald Stevenson, ended up just blocking air. The twist that time completely confused the Sooners' left side of the line.
There's Jones back in the end zone, and he gets it off again with Smith. Smith's made back-to-back outstanding plays for this defense. Herbie, you've been saying it all night.
Yeah,
the difference with Missouri is this defense.
Absolutely. Yeah, and in the trenches on both sides. And I'll tell you, the speed and determination of the Missouri defensive ends, they've been in the backfield a lot tonight against Landry Jones.
Landry Jones fires deep, incomplete.
Michael Sam got in there that time, the freshman.
You know how much suffering these Missouri fans have done at the hands of Oklahoma through the years? The heartbreak against this team. They were on their homecoming game. They schedule Oklahoma, received some flack. They say you got to schedule a team that you can beat. And here they are with a 9-point lead. And Tressway will have to punt it away. Almost blocked. Way goes down. There's no penalty. And a fair catch by Geddes. And the end is at hand. It'll be 3 straight weeks that a #1 team has gone down. Just a remarkable turn of events here in college football. Now the PA announcer has made the announcement, stay off the field at the end of the game. Somewhat similar to the announcement we heard in Madison, Wisconsin last week, I might add. And here they are. Alabama, a loser. South Carolina. Ohio State, a loser at Wisconsin. Oklahoma, in need of a Sooner miracle. Devin Moore. Whistle down. It'll be 2nd down. Oklahoma without timeout.
Missouri just trying to work this clock down best they can. The stadium starting to realize that, you know what, it's almost a reality. It's not a dream. What a scene this morning we had to start off today with College Game Day.
Yeah.
Just amazing turnout.
One of our fine executives, John Walsh, graduated from Missouri, and he's here for homecoming. He's decked out in all the colors. He came in at halftime. He was a nervous Nelly. I said, you got a chance. No, we don't have any kind of a chance at all. Oklahoma's too good. He's got to be. There they go. They've had it their way with that offensive line, Herbie. You've talked about them. Hoke, Webbles, Barnes, Palmgren, Fisher. Can't say enough about those fellas down there.
This is a different Missouri team. For Nebraska, and Bo Pelini, sure at home watching this game after their victory today. Missouri has a different look and a different feel. There's a confident quarterback in Gabbard, but they're more physical. And it's going to take that kind of effort again next week as they go up against the Cornhuskers, on the road especially.
And Josie's in. I see that Miners is one of the offensive linemen now. And the freshman just hanging on to the ball inside of a minute. And Missouri, it's been a long time, a real long time, since the Tigers have celebrated a win over Oklahoma. For Gary Pinkel, this will be the first time that he will have beaten the Sooners. Lost a couple of Big 12 championships to him. You can just imagine the feeling. He'll never betray it. He's the calmest of guys, and he has done a fabulous job of putting this program back together here in Columbia. Remember the first couple of years here, he was under enormous pressure. Didn't shake him, stayed with his program, switched the offense, brought it down to the last 9 seconds. Look at him. He's not even taking the headset off. He's keeping it on. 1998, ladies and gentlemen, the late Larry Smith, a good friend. He was the last head coach of Missouri to upset Oklahoma. And now Coach Pinkel will get his first with 9 seconds to go. The headset's still on. Pete Carroll would have thrown it up into the stands.
And smiling. I just want to reiterate what you're saying. This team, not only are they going to win this game, It's the way they go about their business. It's a well-coached football team. They've been waiting for their opportunity to capitalize on a situation like this against a powerhouse like Oklahoma. Sooners came in #1 in the BCS standings, but it's not just that they won the game, it's how they went about and took care of this football game tonight.
One of the great nights in Missouri football history. They were able to close the deal. And Oklahoma came back at them in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, Missouri just seized control. And you could almost see the emotion on his face.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Bob Stoops has to put the franchise back together again. Way too many mistakes for an Oklahoma football team. Man, this crowd.
First down and 10, Oklahoma. From their own 20-yard line.
DeMarco Murray cuts to daylight, tripped up, still running, tries to get wide, and there he laterals it off. Gets Broyles. Broyles comes back the other way, but it's not going to matter. The students have come on the field, and they shouldn't do that. That'll do it. There's a penalty flag, so hang on, ladies and gentlemen. The students came on the field too early now.
The Missouri Tigers, 36.
I don't know that it's going to matter, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think this crew is going to get them back off the field.
What happened to that announcement?
The goalposts are coming down. They've been lowered.
See how long until we can't see any more AstroTurf.
This team will regroup. This good football team at Oklahoma. They got some good players. In fact, they got some great players. Gabbert's over there. A lot of these youngsters from Texas, of course, know each other from their high school days on both sides.
The University Police Department and the Missouri State Highway Patrol remind you to buckle your seatbelt on your way home this evening. Seatbelts are your best protection against serious injury. Once again, thank you for coming and drive home safely.